Everybody takes the coffee for a piece of pie. We all want to succeed in life.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm underwater now. I've got to calm down. Yo, what's going on, mother lovers? We are back. Sorry we weren't here yesterday. We had to be back here today because, you know what I mean? We'll be here whenever we want to be here, and you lot be here with us whenever you want to be here. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to all the people in the building. My name is Mice Diggy. My brother on the other side, co-hosting Dan DNA. What's going on, mother lovers? How you lot feeling out there? We got Cuzzy Joe in the building. Woo, 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 woo. We're going to have a fun one tonight. I'm telling you. Who else is in the building? Let's find out. Let's find out right now, all you mother lovers. Shout out to Gleam. Shout out to Ken F. Shout out to Yamar. Black Einstein in the building. Did you lot see the intro there? Did you lot see the... What you lot saying? We stepped it up again. We need some gunshots.
Yeah.
We need them kind of... Yo, Black Einstein and Dan DNA put together the sickest intro for the podcast. Let me see some fire emojis or something. Some smoke emojis, something out there for that, because that got me pumped up when I saw it. I saw it probably about, in its stages, and then gradually to the point where I was like, yo, let's get this. Black Einstein killed it with the music. We might have to make that a tune. What you lot saying about? We might have to do that. But I want to let you lot know you're in tune to the podcast where we talk about some shit you might not never know nothing about. That's right. Repeat after me. Some shit you might not never know nothing about. We got a special guest tonight. I'm very honored to get this guest on, by the way, because, this is one of those people that paved the way for me to do what I can do and make a living off this thing. And obviously be here with you lot, you know what I mean? Doing this type of shit. So I'm looking forward to that. That's the big brother Blade, you know what I mean? The legendary. We're going to be speaking to him soon. Also in the house is Peter Lewis. Shout out to Peter Lewis, Kisser. Who else? Nicole Kisser. All right, we got the family in the building. Family. Yeah, the Kisser family are here.
Kisser family.
Mr. Green, what's going on, brother? We're in the bunker, of course. Who else we got? DJ Locke, what's going on, bruv? Barry Owen. Ooh, we got Barry O in the house. Shout out to Barry O, man. One of our elders dropped some knowledge on us last week. If you lot missed that, go and check last week's podcast because we went in. We went all over the plane. The plane.
All over the realm.
The realm, that's it. Wherever you think it is, it's a realm. Either way, either or. Shout out to DJ Bluefoot. What's going on, my brother? All the people in the building. Some shit you might not never know nothing about. And of course, we always get into the Mice Investigates. We have to do that. Like I said, you know what I mean? This week's one's going to be fun because, I think a lot of people are you should check the link anyway, because I'm going to do that. I feel like I can make a pamphlet out of all the information that I got from people out there. So we're looking forward to that too.
That's the next one to get the music for.
Yeah. I feel like Black Einstein's got something for that already, I do feel like that. I ain't going to lie. What's that? Is that the... are we on Twitch as well, innit? We're on Twitch. We've been trying the thing on Twitch.
Yeah. Got a few people on there.
Oh, we have? Yeah. Sometimes I get a little twitch when I ain't slept long enough. You get a little... You know what I mean? People who gig hard, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Got a few followers on there, yeah.
That's sounding good. That's sounding good, man. We're starting to build this up slowly but surely. You see there, the intro. We're still going to carry on. I want to give a shout out to a couple people who've been giving me a DM just saying, yo, keep doing what you're doing. We like it. We love what it's about. And like I said to you lot before, we just figured, boy, there needs to be something else that's going on within the scene where we can all congregate. There's a bunch of us that love a similar type of music, similar type of lifestyle, similar type of strains. You lot let me know what strains you lot are out there playing. You know what I mean? I think what we got today, we got some skills out there. Blue Dream as well. Yeah. But, all these different things that we're all into, and we all connect via the music. We might see each other out and about when, doing gigs in places. I see a lot of you lot out there. And I feel like, we all need to not feel like we're so isolated, especially in these times that they're trying to put that on us. Do you know what I mean? When I'm at home creaming my elbows, making sure I ain't screaming for cream, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I wish I was just outside. When you go to a gig, you're like, have a couple drinks or whatever. You're like, right, don't want to go blaze a ziggy. You want to go to the smoking spot? Yeah, go smoking spot. Go build up. As you've been, it's a little ritual. You're just chatting to random people about different things, and but you're all there under one roof because you all have that connection. And so I feel like, if they're trying to do that to us, let's keep that connection going right here on these share waves. You like that one? We have talked though. Hey, ow. Yeah, and so we done the intro.
Housekeeping.
We got some housekeeping to do, which is this Sunday. I do believe.
What one's first? Sorry.
It's going to be this Sunday.
Metro.
Metro Fest.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I think there's still tickets available for this. Yeah,
this
Metro
is the big
Fest.
one. This is the big
one,
the big summer comeback.
Look at that, man. The summer comeback.
Line up.
You know what I mean? We're hoping it should. I think it'll be all right. But either way, I believe we're in a tent, in the Flavour of the Month tent. So you lot come see us. Me and DJ lot going to be playing down there. Skinny Man as well. We've got the hip hop karaoke crew. Tony Touch, obviously. DJ 279, the legendary DJ 279, putting it all together in terms of the Flavour of the Month tent. And then also there are other stages as well where you got Blackstreet. You got one of my favourite artists. I got all of his albums. I got all his mixtapes. Bobby V. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. What's funny about that shit? Yeah, Bobby V, deep artist. He's got like some deep, and the flows, and here's who I'm thinking of. You got to see John B there, Maya, EVE, Fat Man Scoop.
Of course.
Bars. You're going to get bars upon bars from Fat Man Scoop. He hypes it up. Bars. And then you got Fat Joe. And I'm interested to see what Fat Joe's going to do.
Yeah, it's going to be, yeah.
Because he's got a whole bunch of...
Has he lost a bit
tracks.
of timber and all, apparently? And is he not
kind
so,
of, yeah. He's, I think he kind of just maintains like a kind of Fat Joe look, innit? Like, he lost weight for a bit, but then I think he's come back up. And, he carries it well. He's not letting it get too crazy.
This time it's not just... Maybe now it's not just fat. It's just he's maybe just bulked up. Instead, he's just Bulky Joe.
Bulky Joe. Imagine that as a name. Bulky Joe, bro.
But you're more saying get a photo of Mice and Fat Joe. That would be good.
Yeah, that would be sick, man. If I can try and should I try and do that? Just try and let me get a photo. Come here, fam.
Yeah.
Just look like I'm about to draw something. Then there's security. Yo, hey, man. I just wanted to get a photo, bro. That's all. Like, I'm willing to put my life on the line to get this shit. What you saying? Willing to get your life on the line for
Eve on the right arm.
picture with Bobby V, boy.
You got to, yeah.
Just
That would probably be
rugby
the only
tackling.
one you can get a picture of.
I'll just rugby tackle him, a selfie at the same time. That's his knees. That's his knees. Look. Showed him a video of the show. Look, it's the same knees, man. It's the same freeze frame. That's me and Bobby V, Yeah, so that's that one. That's on Sunday. That's this August the 8th, innit? Jeez, man. The 8th of the 8th.
August.
Bruh. 88.
88.
It's a good number.
Very good number.
What's that? 88, 16,
HH.
7. Yeah, HH. And it comes back round. It always comes back round.
2.
I believe that's the sun cycle, isn't it? The sun cycle.
Yeah.
It goes like an 8.
Yeah.
So it should be a good day then, man. I think it's going to be a beautiful day. And then what happened is Bristol got moved, so we're going to reschedule the date for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I just spoke to Kat today, and we'll sort all of that out, and then we'll spread the info on the next show. So other than that, you got, what day is this one? September the 3rd, I believe.
Friday, 3rd of September.
Yep, and that's Born Lippy stage at the, what's the name of the festival?
Lindisfarne.
Lindisfarne Festival. There's going to be a bunch of people there. You're going to see myself. And this is, I must say, Born Lippy is all about spoken word and poetry. So I really feel, honoured to like be able to spread my little words and that stuff. That sound like a poet then, isn't it? Spread my little words and that stuff, yeah, at the poetry jam. Now, for real, it's a proper honour when I get asked to do these sort of jams, because the main thing that you really appreciate is how people are there just to listen. They're not like, they don't need a whole load of music and whatnot. So you can really express what you're saying in a different way. And so I'm going to be down there with Stanley Odd, Imogen Sterling, Jackal, Trades, Joe Dark, and a bunch of other people, Neanderthal Bard, Rowan, McCabe, a whole bunch of names there. Come through if you can, because that's near Newcastle, I believe, Born Lippy stage. And yeah, man, I think it's going to be quite an interesting event.
All you Scottish people, you've got to get up there, down there. We'll be down for you. Be going down south. So
Lindisfarne.
You're more Alexander Morrison. I think he's Scottish, is he? Alexander Morrison?
Is he?
I don't know.
I didn't know.
I got a feeling
I didn't know.
It's a Scottish name. He's got 2 Scottish names.
Yeah, I wish I could do a proper Scottish accent, man.
I think as well. You say Ken. I didn't Ken.
I didn't Ken.
Yeah, there you go.
I know it also depends where you are, innit? Like you can't really, that's what you get with some. I guess they're a lot better now, but with UK actors when they're doing the American accent, and it's like 1 minute they sound down south, next minute West Coast, and then a bit in New York. It's like, right, bruv, I guess that's the same thing with me. But I'm probably not in the Scottish. I'm sounding like
people from the Highlands would be like, "Where are you from? Glasgow, Edinburgh? Can't work it out."
Yeah. I'm gonna keep trying though for you lot, man. I feel bad that I can't get this out properly. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So that's Born Lippy, and that's September the 3rd. We'll give you a shout out about some more upcoming dates, and I do believe that's the housekeeping done. Subscribe. Hit the bell, the notification. I've been seeing you meant to tell people that because some people don't get the update about us going live. So hit the bell notification. Please spread the word as well, man. I appreciate the people that have been saying like it's a good thing that we're doing. And by all means, if you feel it is, then spread away, share away, and let people know about it so we can just, keep up, get the numbers up and keep a good momentum going with this, because it feels good to know that people want this as well. Because we thought it was needed, and we're glad to know we're right. It always feels when you're right, you're just like,
you're right.
Right, you see, you got that parking ticket. See, I was right. You shouldn't have parked there, brother. I'm telling you. Yeah, man. So, moving on. This week, the big talk in the hip hop world. I do believe. I believe. Who mentioned it? Someone mentioned it, and I feel like it might have been Mr. Green or...
Yeah.
Was it Mr. Green? Bruv,
Yeah.
You're not lying. Who watched The Lox versus Dipset? It felt good, man. It was weird. Did you didn't get to see it, D?
Nah.
Joe, you got to see it? It just brought that essence back. It brought the essence back, and it was in a real good way because it was street hip hop. It was street rap. It's like these, you don't hear about them battling unless it's a tune like beefing or it's really in the street kind of thing. But this was like, sound clash thing. So there's a thing called Versus. I think it was, it's Timbaland and Swizz Beatz. But I feel like Just Blaze and The Alchemist kind of had this. They were doing a tour where it was like Versus, it was Just Blaze versus The
it
Alchemist.
was, you're right, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. My memory, I don't know. Sometimes I get it wrong. You lot let me know, you know what I mean? But yeah, they put together this thing where sort of it started off as the producers, I guess, going back and forth, playing their tunes that they'd made and whatnot. And then they moved it on to artists. They started booking artists to do the same thing. So you've had a bunch of different, for me to reel off the names. But from everything from, they even did the Isley Brothers versus, who is it? They've gone R&B, they've gone Bashment, I think it was Bounty Killer versus Beanie Man, I think. Yeah, Bounty Killer, Beanie Man. And, back and forth like that to different genres of music. And then they even, so obviously doing it with crews, they went on to doing Dipset, which is Cameron, Jim Jones, Freaky Zeke, Jules Santana, and versus The Locks, which is Jadakiss, Styles, and Chic Luch. And these are like gutter rhymers, they're all grimy, kind of talk the street shit, but to a certain level lyrical. I say certain level because of obvious reasons. If you saw it, if anyone saw it out there, let us know. Let us know you saw it. Let me see the eyeballs if you saw that, because boy, woo, yo, hold on, man. That shit, it was masterful. What I got from it was I'm glad that I'm in that side, on that side of, not only did I felt like Locks would win anyway, I'm more into them, but I felt like I'm glad I'm on that side of, yes, it is important to rehearse. Yes, you should work on breath control. Yes, you should memorize it. All these things that, if you're a cool artist, I get it. Some cool artists, they don't do any of that stuff. They just go out there and somehow pull it off. For me, I just like to know I'm ready. So it's second nature. I don't really have to think about it when I'm doing it. And I believe that all comes from the rehearsing side. But sometimes you're made to feel like, you're not meant to be doing that. Like, that's not cool. Yo, go and watch this battle.
So what's the actual format of it? Is it how long's the actual event and all the rest of it?
I think it ended up being a couple hours, like maybe just over 2 hours. But the idea is that they play tunes that they've obviously got out, and it's like you're going, my tune versus your tunes. What tune are you going to pull out that I can bat up against? And so but instead of just playing them, they perform them, and then now you've got a crowd. Before they were doing it online, and everyone was just in the comments and whatnot, and they would be all like, yo, and then, but you're seeing all celebrities in the comments as well. So it made it an event. You're like, oh shit, you're rubbing shoulders with Diddy. Oh my God. And I've actually got a shiny suit on right now. Oh my God. That's the kind of shit you might see in the comments. And so once it was like, okay, they've opened up a bit now, they started doing them with crowds. And so now you've got the crowd reaction as well when you're doing it.
And it's in a boxing ring or something. Is it like in a?
No, it's not in a box. I don't think they've ever done it. It's even sometimes it's just a setup.
Like on a stage. Then
they put it on a stage. This one,
two either side or something.
Yeah, on this one it was kind of a platform. It was like a rectangle, like a platform that they and so they could do that. It would have been cool if they did it like that. Like they're in their corner, and then they just come out when they perform to the middle, and then vice versa. But it turned into this whole mess. Obviously, Dipset, Locks, what you expect that. I'm surprised there was no gunshots or, what I mean? Freaking army tanks rolling through and that. Yo, man, what's up, man? What y'all doing around here? Yeah. So, but it was an amazing event because, basically they go back and forth with their different tunes, and it could be tunes from albums or mixtapes or it's whatever kind of thing, but what you sensed from this was like preparation is key. Do you know what I mean? You had like Jadakiss shouting out like, yo, go into the napalm bag, or yo, bring out the chick stuff. So it's like they had the setup for if you needed to do chicks tunes for the girls and whatnot. And there were even moments like that where Jules Santana's like, yo, you ain't got no tunes for the women though. You ain't gonna, and there's like, yo, go into the so bring them out, and people go, yeah. And what else, man? There were so many different things that happened, but go check it out because it was amazing to see, man. The fact that you could see, for one, it was more about substance over style. Do you know what I mean? The Locks have things to say. They can do all the grimy stuff and talk about taking your head off or whatever, but then they also have subject matter and, things to talk about other than just that, which show you like, oh, there's more to them than that. But with Dipset, it's all just the grimy shit. It's all just Harlem, money, gangster, and that's it. And you really got the sense of like, wow, that's all they are. Dressed the way they were dressed and that. You're just like, what are you doing, man? it didn't look right. It didn't look right. It was mad one-sided. Let's see what people are saying, because, yeah, it was hilarious. It was really funny, man. Wait, oh, what did, yeah.
Alexander Morrison said his favourite one so far has been Gladys Knight versus Patti LaBelle.
Wow.
Yeah.
See? That's where they take it to, man. Gladys Knight versus Patti LaBelle. I ain't seen all of them, but I think I'm going to start watching, especially the ones that I'm interested in anyway. Because
what one would you like to see?
who would I like to see? Oof.
Who would everyone like to see? What in the chat? What one would you like to see?
Hit us in the chat with that, because that's a really tricky one as well. When you're trying to... Busta Rhymes is the one where they're struggling to find someone
to match him.
Yeah,
up
there's
against.
conversations about it, but people are like, yeah, but who can... And then they're like, well, Missy? It would have to be like, you'd have to go there, where it's like, yeah, it's not fair. It's not really the right type of, like, yeah, because his level of...
You can't have transgender rapping.
I think, like, I mean, people might say I'm wrong, but I think Busta transgender rapping. Bro, that's already out there, man. You stay there. It's already happening, man. There's bare features in one person. Bare features, boy. Yeah, 56 different features. Yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I think there's a possibility. Who was I thinking? Busta and Jay-Z. I'm thinking there's a possibility.
Do you think Jay-Z would do that?
I think he would.
Do you think? No, what about Nas and Jay-Z instead?
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Would you like to see that? I'd like to see that. Actually.
Yeah, it would be really cool. Like,
yeah.
I think it would be really... Yeah, that's probably... You're right. They'd have to save that, Nas and Jay-Z. It's like the two kings of New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then let's see.
Get them, bring up my diss tracks. Yeah.
They'd have to, man.
Yeah.
But that would be endless as well. It kind of... I think Jay-Z would have the edge because of his catalogue being a bit more solid throughout. Just, there was a little dip for Nas, and people are going to disagree with me, but there was a little dip, a couple albums, 2 or 3 albums where it was like, hey, Jay-Z's a few as well, but he, a lot more people accepted them and were. So I think it will be kind of a bit lean towards Jay-Z in terms of... Nas's
dip was maybe like Jay-Z's equivalent was that Jay-Z went more like went into more of a commercial place, whereas I think Nas's dip was that just like a dip in quality. But,
yeah. Whereas you saying Jigga's
I'm saying, yeah, I think Jay-Z probably went up into a sort of more commercial, shiny world. And Nas just sort of fell off a little bit.
Yeah, I think Nas tried to do the shiny world a bit, and then it kind of... There was that, is it I Am and those two where it was just like, and then he did the double album, the Street's Disciple, where it was like even more, like double, and so, but then he came back when it was like, I think the whole thing of Jay-Z really kicked in, and then he came back heavy, and then he's been consistent ever since. So, but what I think will be interesting with them two is content. How would it work out content wise, like in terms of, would you see the same thing? I think a lot of people, even if they didn't realize it, they felt it with Dipset versus Lox. Was like, oh shit, Lox actually say shit,
right? Yeah.
Whereas Cameron's like, I do my doobies doobing when I move this grooving. And then, it was like that, where you're like, what is he saying? No, really? Like, it was time for people to listen, innit? Because you're watching it online.
Yeah. That's a good point. Is that maybe some of this stuff, when it came out, was in a sort of, it was in like a sort of a period of time when there was a lot of people putting stuff out. And so you had like people rising up and down all the way through it. But now it's sort of a bit thinner. Yeah. Is that when you actually listen to it in context, away from the scene, away from like the period, the golden age, that that you start to sort of think, oh yeah, they didn't. They were trendy, but they weren't really quality. You know, but other people have got quality.
Yeah, substance over style. It ended up being, yo, I'm watching these guys, I'm watching the Locks, and I'm like, rad, my man's spitting lyrics from 97 or something, and it sounds like now. It sounds like, it doesn't sound like dated, and it's clear, and they still rap the same way, but they're holding it till now. Whereas with you lot's thing, it was a period of the Rubik's grooving, and then the Rubik's grooving.
Yeah.
Hey, I got my movies moving. You know what I mean? And then people, I've grown up now. I'm out of college. You know what I mean? Like, I've got a bit wider vocabulary now, and I don't dress in baggies as much, and you know what I mean. So yeah, it was really, really interesting to see all of that. Just the dynamic of like, this is hip hop for real.
Oh,
and they shouted it out loud.
We got some good. There's some good people doing some good matchups in the chat.
Yeah, let me shout out the crew that's on the Kush. All right. So Gleam says he's on the Kush. Who else said that on something? I saw another word there. Stefan. Oh, you're getting Stefan 88 Hawk said yes. Let's get baked. Let's do it right now, mother lovers. Let's do it. Who's blazing up? Come on. I saw one of it. I think Yamal might be on the edibles again. But yeah. Okay, so let's go in. Let's see some of these matchups. Who we got?
We got
Jim Jones fell off. Wow.
We got Alexander Morrison, Scorsese v Chester P.
Scorsese v Chester P. That would be fun. Ooh, that would be interesting, isn't it? Scorsese v Chester P. Yeah. Catalog wise. It's a fair matchup.
Yeah,
Would you
I
say?
think so. Yeah.
They both put out a decent amount of music.
Yeah.
Oof, that would be interesting. Yeah, Scorsese v Chester P. Chester's got a bunch of bangers, obviously with the Task Force stuff, and then like solo, he killed it with that last thing. Oof. Who else was there? Oh, yeah. So UK. Who else in the UK, man? That would be interesting. Because I was trying to think about that as well. Who'd be able to do verses, but Peter Lewis Kisser says Dabbler versus Backstar. That would be nice. Dabbler versus Backstar, very nice. Now you lot taking the piss, man.
Big Daddy Kane, Rakim.
Big Daddy Kane versus Rakim, yeah. Everyone says that. Whenever people mention Big Daddy Kane, they say Rakim and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like it's the only way you can really. I mean, Cool G Rap could be thrown in there, and even KRS. You could mix up those four, and it'd be a fair matchup, I think. Gleam says Drake versus Craig David. I believe that's a very fair
That's
matchup.
a good matchup.
I don't know if catalog wise they've both got, but in terms of just the whole, how do we say this? How do you say the word without saying the word? The whole ethos, you know what I mean? You don't say kill, you say cull. So it doesn't sound as,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good matchup. That's hilarious, by the way. KRS versus Chuck D. Oof.
Yeah.
Peter Lewis Kisser hitting with the bombs. We need some bombs up in here. I'll put some claps in the Yok still, bro.
Right.
Got him way there. What's Mr. Green saying? KRS-One said it best. Nas being signed to Columbia has messed it up. If you can say that, for me, Nas is untouched. I hear that, man. Like, and this is all subjective as well, isn't it? Everyone's into who they're into, different ways and whatnot, and different sounds and flows and voice, and there's all these different aspects to how somebody can be into a certain style of music or artist. So I get that, man, for sure. What else is there? So Blue said that Jim Jones fell off stage. That's hilarious, man. Yeah, because I thought it said fell off, and I was like, was he on? No. Even the Ballin', his biggest tune, it didn't drop. Ballin', we fly high, no high, you know this. I'm balding. Yeah, Kim versus Kane. Oh, Roots Maneuver versus Rodney P. Battle of the Rodneys. That's a good one, Gleam. I like that one. Yo,
Rodney
you lot taking the piss, man. Yeah. Shout out to Kisser on the Amnesia. Okay. That's Satives. Yeah. Moore says Nas all the way. I'm guessing that's Nas versus Jay-Z, or is that just in general? Godson album, powerful. Yeah, Peter's right about that. You know what I mean?
Charlie Sloth v Tim Westwood. Wow.
That's hilarious. Charlie Sloth versus Tim. Oh, imagine the noise, boy. Like all the bombs, like, oh my gosh, sound effects galore, boy. You better be ready for that shit. And the shouting. You know, when West was ready to shout, my man could shout, boy. Like, he would go off. You ain't ready for this one, man. I'm telling you, Charlie Sloth, we about to go down, baby. Bend over on the knee right now. I'm about to spank you, baby. Oh, you know, Westwood, you know what, yeah? You can't really spank man like that, you know? All right, you know what? Because man, you better calm the fuck down there, Charlie Sloth. You know what I mean? Listen, ever since you took my spot, man, I wanted to take my pants off and shit on you, right? God damn it. Drop. Hey, you know what, Westwood? You dare shit on me, you know? I will eat that shit out and bang it in your head, bruv. Right, yeah, something like that. I reckon it'll go. I reckon it'll go similar to that, somehow, some way.
Richard Blackwood versus Robbie Williams.
You lot are taking the piss. Richard Blackwood. They look related as well. It's weird. When I picture them, it's like, right, you lot look similar as well.
The same plastic surgeon.
Yo, versus Richard Blackwood versus Robbie Williams. That would be hilarious. That would be... Shout out to Mr. Green, boy. Yo, this is why I love this fucking chat room, man, because you lot are deep, you lot got some wisdom, and you got jokes as well, man. That's what we love right here.
Imagine if this thing takes off, there would be some good matchups like that.
Yeah, like that's where it would end up going there, where it's just weird ass matchups, innit? It'd end up going there, like they will do that shit. I can see it.
Yeah, what's it? Destiny's Child, Spice Girls.
Yeah, for real. Yo, yeah, that would be mad, innit? Like they did, you know.
We got Kalashnikov, Kaiser.
Oof. That's Beefy McBeefington. That would be pretty deep. Kalashnikov versus Kaiser.
But you could have also.
And they're allowed to do freestyle verses as well.
You could also have
spice it out, you know.
Terra Firma and Out Deville. It'd be quite a nice matchup. Good one. Yeah. Someone suggested already that you should start doing these for the UK, but it's like you need £10 million.
Yeah, you know,
we've got the ability to stream it, but apart from that,
we're working on the rest.
We've got a couple of mics.
Yeah, we'll work on the rest. Like, see how it goes. You know what I mean? Maybe we can get them on Skype to do it or something. You know what I mean? We do a live link up and get it on.
Guy Bluefoot says Guy, but Guy versus new edition, including solo material.
Yeah, Guy versus new edition. Jeez, yeah, that's hilarious, man. Jeez, that would be hilarious, man. What kind of matchups? Yeah, you could do a whole bunch of mad ass matchups, boy. Get like, like the two guys from The Office. You got one, the American Office versus what's his name?
The Office,
Ricky, yeah, like them two. Just go off, like dance off, just everything off.
Everything.
Who does
cringe?
the best?
Yeah, just make you cringe the most.
Yo, yeah, it's gonna turn into that. You know that already, man. Because they want to try and keep us in our yards watching some bullshit on TV,
watching people go at each other.
Yeah. Some way, any way they can find to divide us, they're gonna do that, man. You get the two most dual people you can get. And get them to duel. There'll be a whole bunch of madness, man. All right, so let's move on quickly. Let's get into these. Should we get into the investigations, or we got to get our friend on soon as well?
Yeah, we could do the.
Yeah, you lot killed it with some of them matchups, man.
Yeah, well done.
Serious. Keep them coming because Marco Magic versus himself. Does anyone remember Marco Magic, man? Old school UK hip hop. Yeah, shout out to Bluefoot on that one. Gleam says Ed Sheeran versus The Sun.
Has he got beef with The Sun?
The newspaper, yeah, it must be, innit? Yeah, surprise, surprise. Lady Gaga versus Madonna. You see, it's crazy that we can even talk like that as well. Shout out to P. Louis Kissa. Because it's like, you know, in the hip hop world, people are like, oh, you can't do that. Madonna, yo, man, she's old school. She's like foundation. She started break down, you know what I mean? And then Lady Gaga pops up from nowhere. It's like saying Nicki Minaj versus Queen Latifah or something.
Yeah.
You know? But, like, I wouldn't put it past that being able to happen. Lady Gaga versus Madonna. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Right, who could versus Sade?
What about Mick Hucknall?
You'll bring it up. I need to look at the face because I know it's old school. It sounds like Pat Sharp might be.
No,
you know
Simply Red.
Oh,
Simply Red versus
Red.
Sade, yeah. I think that'd be. I think they're evenly matched.
Simply Red versus Sade. I could, yeah.
Gabrielle versus Sade, Gleam said.
Nah, Gabrielle can't test Sade, man. That's not. Nah, that's not. I don't know.
Nah,
Gleam.
she needs another one-eyed person to go up.
Yeah. Was she really one-eyed as well?
No, I don't know.
That
It's
was
a
fake.
gimmick, yeah. She needs
Right,
another gimmicky person to
it
go up
worked, though.
against.
It worked. The first time you'd be like, right, one-eyed still, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, Alexander Morrison said the same thing. Simply Red, yeah. Karen Wheeler, would Karen Wheeler go up against Sade? She's not really well known enough. She's done a lot of backing stuff, but she's not really her own artist.
Yeah, I guess she'd have to do it on that level. Like I wrote this. And
She could do this, just the backing vocals from songs that she featured on.
Yeah, because that's the thing. She, you know, her catalog isn't as deep as Sade. Because that's the thing. You gotta, you know, like if people said Rihanna versus Beyonce, their catalogs are pretty similar, no?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't give a fuck about it myself personally, but
No.
I think, you know, that would be a matchup that's quite equal.
Sade versus Mary J. Blige, that would be quite good.
Ooh. Oh, because Mary...
The two grandmas of female soul. Nanny Mary.
Yeah, Mary.
Versus
She's
Nanny
still,
Sade.
you know, Mary still... She ain't queen mothered it out yet. She's you know, she's still holding it together. Sade is like what? What would you call her? Like a lovers rock soul artist, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
She's So in that sense, I don't know whether it'd be a good matchup because I think the style of music might.
I think Simply Red for the moment. I'm gonna go
to be safe.
Red.
I guess so. We have gone with MJ and Bruce Springsteen. Do you reckon?
What, Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Versus Bruce Springsteen.
Will people allow that, or it has to be the obvious Prince?
I don't know. I suppose they're the same level of artistry involved. I'd say.
Yeah, but they're, you know, you could. There's so many different ways. So many different ways, man.
Exciting.
So many different places you could go to with it.
Can't wait to consume this product.
Innit? Go check it out though. At least check out the, you know, I think the one that's important to check out is the Locks versus
yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Dipset, because boy, it was amazing. Sam Cooke versus Otis Redding, that's a really good one. Let's get this on the groove. I think it's time to get in touch.
Shall I give him a call?
Yeah, should we give him a call?
Yeah, let's see if this works.
We'll give him a call. Yeah. Can you hear that belt? It's going like boom, boom, boom.
No, nothing so far. Call declined. Just wait for him to call back.
All right, so should we get into some Mice Investigates then?
Yeah. Hold on. Get into some.
Might as well for the match.
Investigate. Oh, hang on, we've got Blade coming up.
Oh, all right, let's hold it. You know what I mean? Oh, VT.
Hold it.
Right.
Hello. You there?
VT.
Yes.
Hey.
We've got you. Can you hear us?
Right.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
cool, we can hear you.
We got him in. Run, VT.
Hold on. I'm just going to pull you up on the screen.
Is the lighting, what's better, that or that?
This looks like you're in a submarine, like you're heading somewhere. You're about to blow up some kind of spot. I can imagine there's a whole load of like advanced grenades. You probably got some mad high-tech equipment there. Might be a couple droids, you know what I mean? You might be, you know what I mean? A little freaky. You got your own little android there. You're like, hey, baby, just wait for me when I finish all this shit. Pressing mad buttons. And then try the other one. Try with the light.
So we got that. We got that.
Yeah. Oh, the chick.
That.
Wait, he's flossing on us. You see how he's flossing on us?
No, I'm not doing.
This is UK hip hop right here, boy. Look at that. This is but this is what we're looking like. This is the head. So okay, turn the lights on, and that's like you've reached level 9. You're about to hit M Bison with the atomic bomb. You're like, bruv, you are nothing to me. I'm going way way further up than where you are, bro.
I just find this is too bright, but.
He's not. He's not. Wait. All right, we're gonna get you on the screen.
I'm trying to get you on screen. Hold on.
So I could do the proper introduction, man. But bruv, good
I'm gonna keep working at it. But for
ladies
now,
and gentlemen, introducing
I'll just
to
put
you.
a picture up for now.
Which one do you prefer, the light or dark?
I think the light one's cool.
Leave the lighter one. Yeah, leave the lighter one.
Cool,
yeah,
man.
I'm just gonna have to sort your try and get your image up in a minute.
Get you on the screen.
But for now, we've got a shot of you. Let's have a look. We got that up.
People must recognize the voice. You see the face.
That's all we've got for the minute. I'm going to get your video up. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Welcome, mother lovers. Put some hands together in the comment section if you can, please, for the legendary BLADE, the one and only Blade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way we need to see. I got some.
Good?
I did put some. Yeah, man, I'm good, bruv. I put some claps. We're sorting out this podcast here. We appreciate a legend like you joining us, bruv, for real. Because obviously, you know how I feel anyway, man, about you paving the way for people like me to even have a voice out here. It's mad that we can even call this a career, considering the way our scene gets treated throughout these, has been treated throughout these decades, let alone, it's a bit better now, but you know what I mean? So, fire emojis, claps, whatever you can, roses, everything you can in the comment section. We got the one and only Blade up in the building, and he's about to give us some shit we might never know nothing about, mother lovers.
I'm sure they know. It's just, sometimes you get things and they go to the back of the head and you forget about them. I mean, so
that's what I say. They might not never know nothing about it. Maybe you do. If you do, that's even better. Spread the word. Real legend. That's it, man.
Yeah, really good to have you on, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on. I watched a couple of them in the past, and I'm like, when's my turn?
Come on, man. We had to sort it out, though. If you watch a couple in the past, and you see how, we've stepped it up a bit by bit. We felt like we better do it with the people, though, rather than because the only way you can really test this stuff for real is do it live. So it was always awkward trying to set things up how we, and see how it would work without actually just doing it. Yeah. And then, and because where we've come from, man, we make something out of nothing. And it's the same thing, man. And we appreciate everyone that's always locking in as well every week. But yeah, man, back to you, brother. First of all, we appreciate everything you've done for the scene, man. Every single thing, bruv. Like paving the way on so many different echelons, so many different platforms. I remember the first thing I ever heard about you was that you used to, you'd get your orders in for your vinyl and whatnot, and you'd always send them out yourself. It wasn't like someone else done it for you. It was always like you did it, and there would be a note. There would always be a special note or whatever for each and every person, and people would actually communicate about that and say like, "Oh, you got one as well." It's like rah, and it really, made people know that it's more than just the music, and that really stuck with me. In terms of like communicating with people rather than, you meet people that might have a bit of a stature, a bit of a name, and then they come across like they don't, they're too good to talk to you, too good to even smile at or whatever. And there's a big difference, like hearing something like that that people might not think about. So, and then beyond that, it's just the countless amount of music you put out there. Obviously, the album that everyone talks about. I got my cousin in the building, cousin Joe, and he was just like, "Yo, what, what, Blade, what, unknown, what, wait," yeah, and it was just like, so that made things a lot easier for people like me who wanted to rap with their own voice, not be like, yo, man, how you go, man, type thing. It made it for people like me to be a bit more unique as well and be like, oh, right, you should listen to this, though, because it's not only his own voice, but he's actually saying stuff, you know? So, bruv, I really appreciate everything you've done, man. So,
yeah, thanks for that. I mean, what you said about, like, you know, back in the early days when I was sending the records out, obviously it didn't start that way. You know, we had to go and do the legwork. We had to go to all the house parties. We had to go wherever there was events going on and jump on stages, build a reputation for ourselves on the street level. You know what I mean? Because it was all about like doing the groundwork and then making a noise. Because like how it used to work back in the days, you couldn't just walk into a record label or whatever. So you had to make noise on the street to be heard and to be recognized, and you know, and obviously that was because that's the way that we kind of came into the game. The first step was when I started making my own records and everything, when I decided, you know what, screw the record labels, I'll do this myself.
Yeah.
You know, we hit the streets and we were selling the records on the streets. So it wasn't even like we were sending them out via mail order or anything like that. We were on the streets, legwork.
Yeah. Because I was even thinking, I was like, well, how is he getting the orders? But yeah, carry on.
Well, I mean, how we were getting the orders, I mean, it depends. Every day was different. You know, sometimes we'd go out on the streets with water pistols and would tell people we'll wet them if they don't buy 2 copies.
Literally.
You know what I mean? And just wherever it took, you know what I mean? But like generally nobody saw that there was a bad side. It was everything we did was with a sense of humor, with something to show that, yo, we're coming in peace. You know what I mean? And mostly 99.9% of the time, people had the time for us because we didn't approach them with any bad behavior, any attitude. We were just like, yo, we're trying to sort our lives out and we're giving you something in exchange.
And this is stick up with a water pistol.
Well, I mean, that happened a few times, but that wasn't the general consensus. You know what I mean? I mean, we just used to stand outside record shops and go to Belgium and Holland and wherever and just carry records on our shoulders and sell them and come back and have something to show for it.
So how did you suss out about that part of the game, like in terms of selling your records? Had you seen someone do it already and you got the idea, or how did that come about? Because it's kind of a thing that a lot of people wouldn't jump to doing.
Well, you know what? The thing is, I heard so many stories from so many artists saying how they've signed record deals, but they're not happy and this, that, the other. And then when I was approaching record labels and I wasn't getting anywhere, you know, if there was interest, the interest was kind of like, okay, you might as well bend over and we'll just fuck you right now. And that was the kind of interest that was being shown, really. So I just thought, you know what? I might as well just do it myself. What have I got to lose? So in terms of how I started, I mean, I used to watch things like, The Harder They Come. The Harder They Fall, Jimmy Cliff and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I started learning about like what was going on in Jamaica, where like all the artists used to go around and hand out, you know, they used to sell records on the streets, but they only kept it to their neighborhoods. They didn't go everywhere. And you know what I'm saying? So I thought, wow, I could do that.
Yeah, that's deep.
And that was where it kind of came from, really. You know?
Do you know what that shows as well? You know that saying about when people are like, yeah, films don't influence the kids. It's like, oh, they do there though, don't they? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's deep, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really.
But you know, the thing is, it's like, no matter what you do in life, there's always someone that's done it already. You just got to find a way. You know, like I said, they were doing it in Jamaica and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I mean, you should know that. I'm sure you know that. They were always doing it. That's all they had. That was, street, you know, they just believed in themselves, and you know, they were happy to just hit the streets and sell their records independently. And I just thought, wow, I've not seen anyone do that in the UK. And then for like 3-4 years, I kept it quiet. And I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. While everyone's looking for deals, I'm just going to do it myself. And that's basically what it was. I just planned it, sat back, worked out logos, worked out my name, worked out everything. And I just thought, right, I'm ready to start branding.
So how did you come up with Blade?
Well, Blade was actually a name that was given to me by a friend, you know, from like back in the Covent Garden days. So I kept that name, and basically what he said was, you know, he just thought I was sharp when I was rapping and everything. To be honest, I thought I misheard him. I thought he said I was shit. You know what I mean?
Sharp. Wow, sharp. Yeah, you sound shat. Yeah, I can hear that somehow. Do you have an accent? You must have had an accent.
Well,
you sound shat.
Back in those days, we listened to the American records and we were just rapping in the accent that we just naturally picked up on those. And then bit by bit, I just started thinking, you know what? I'm Armenian, so I don't have to sound like them. You know what I mean? I sound the way that I sound. And then obviously, then you hear people like London Posse and all that, and you think, wow, people are using their accents, and why not? But there was still a lot of artists that were using the American accent.
Saying, yeah, man. Yeah,
I mean, but when I heard Bionic, that was it. That was for me. I was just like, wow. But then when I started analyzing Bionic, and you know, when I spoke to Bionic and whatever, I started realizing that, you know, he comes from the reggae culture. You know, the sound system culture and all that, and they were all doing it in their own accent. And half of those people were in my neighborhood. I mean, you know, you had Saxon and you had all like Smiley Culture and Tipper Ivory and all of them. They were all in my neighborhood. You know, so it was all happening down the street from us.
You just made me think about something when you said, what was he talking about? That Bionic. Because hearing Bionic, I know exactly what you're talking about. There are old like sound tapes you can hear where there are artists that they'll do the yard accent, but then they'll switch into a kind of Cockney thing. Like, on top of the street when I'm doing my thing. And then
Smiley culture.
Smiley culture, there's a lot of that. And so they'd flip back and forth. And and it'd be like, that's where that kind of style... but it's funny when you hear it obviously on the hip hop beat, you're not really thinking that, but then it's like you link the two and you're like, oh wow. And what I liked about him was obviously the fact that it sounded, you know, UK, but also it was like it gave him a character, you know, like sounding like that. You know what I mean? I'm a white mate. You know,
he was using all the Cockney slang. No one was there. Do you know what I mean? It was just brilliant. You know what I mean? No, you got to love Bionic, man. It's like, amazing.
So you got started then, and then where were you, like, how did you know where to kind of congregate? Like for me, it was, the beginning was when I started going to Deal Real Records, and they were doing an open mic. Shout out to Bluefoot. Bluefoot put me on. He said, bruv, he was working, I think, and he said, oh, you got to go Deal Real, man. They're having a open mic. I've been with him a couple times because he would go and buy records and whatnot. And then, but he couldn't come this time. I was like, what? You know, big man. Well, not big, but, you know, big enough that I could go on my jacks. But I was like, yo, I had to call my brethren, yo, Smooth Pig. His name was Smooth Pig, yo, Smooth Pig. You up for going to West End? He's not really on that type, you know, hip hop, rare, but he's like, yeah, cool, man. So I was like, oh, yeah, hold my hand, please, so we can go West End. But yeah, how did you know? So for me, that was my intro, like, oh, and then meeting people, them saying, yo, you're good, and it ventured from there. But where was your beginnings in terms of how did you know where to go to perform or meet other producers?
I mean, generally, where we were coming from, there was a lot of house parties. In our time, there was a lot of house parties. So you used to have to go to the house parties and jump on a mic, make your name, you know, and then next thing you know is people are starting to talk your name. So you're like, wow, I must be doing something right. You know what I mean? And then from the, remember, we didn't go to the record shops first and foremost. It was the house party. And it was the events that were getting put on in our neighborhoods. There was always like Urban Revenge, for example, used to put on these competitions. These, you know, whether you were a beatboxer or breakdancer or body popper or DJ, there was competitions going on. So there was always these partners. So we used to go to these events and we used to basically rip the place apart and walk off, and you know, and that was how we built our name. But how we did it, see, when you were saying about you were going to Deal Real and all those places. Bro, we used to wait for the bus, jump on the bus, and then just go from one end of the bus route to the next end, just beatboxing and rapping.
Wow, you know serious?
We like sometimes Merlin was there and I was there with him. Sometimes I was on my own, but I remember like waiting for the buses, knowing that all the school kids are going to be on that bus and just basically going up to the top deck and just beatboxing, and everyone's crowding around and knowing that I'm going to be there. That was like our little jam.
On the bus.
You know what I mean? Yeah, on the buses.
On the streets, right? What?
I'm saying it. We took it to the street. That's how raw it was. It was real.
And then from there, like, because obviously events is where you're trying to head to, innit, and perform and whatnot.
I mean, if I'm being honest, we were so young that all we really cared about was being respected for what we did. We weren't even looking at money. We weren't like, oh yeah, I want to get shows and get paid. And none of that really came into the equation until you started realizing that to make like these records, you're going to have to spend money. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. And then next thing you know is the girlfriend saying she's pregnant. And you're like, shit, now this is a job. You know what I mean? And in some ways, the fun kind of goes out of it, you know,
when
it becomes a job.
Yeah, it becomes like work. Yeah, it's a whole different thing, innit? I hear you on that, bruv. I hear you on that. So that's when you had to get serious, and you obviously, like you said, you started pressing up the records yourself.
And all the hatred came in, and it was beautiful.
What hatred from what? The scene?
Oh, bro, you know what? Whenever you do something that's working for you, there's always going to be people not liking what you do. But that's just life, Everyone gets it. I'm sure you've had it.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah, everybody's had it, bro.
Yeah,
but that's what shows you you're doing good.
Yeah. You just have to take it as that, innit? People don't see it.
I welcome it.
Yeah, you welcome it.
Yeah, look, when I started the channel, one of the first things I said, I put a post up saying, I just need another 1,000 doubters, and I know I'm going to be doing good.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong, bruv. Like, at the end of the day, there is that thing of, even they say it on the YouTube algorithms, man, they say if you have to get dislikes if you want to get more, more viewership and whatnot. For some reason, that's how it works. And I can imagine in real life, because when you think about the fact that this is what they use on us anyway, they use on us now, like the Hegelian dialectic, innit? They make sure that there's something that is some form of problem, and we all react to that problem, and usually it's someone likes it, someone else dislikes it, and then now,
Can I just say? It's just dawned on me. I'm being interviewed by the almighty maestro, Stevie.
Come on, bruv. What are you talking about, man?
I'm serious. I'm like, wow. It's just like, hold on. My Stevie's interviewing me.
Do you like the way I sneaked it in? I think it's better as a conversation, man. You know what I mean? I think that's the best way to have a chat, as opposed to, making you feel like, so what inspires you, and what size is what shoe size are you? And but nah, man, bruv, we appreciate you having you on. Let me just find out from our behind the scenes whether do we need to click off and on again or something?
We might have to just quickly have a break and then come back.
All right, we'll have a break and come back with Blade. Right, Chris Hat, how's it going, mother lover? Easy, Mr. Green in the place, ma. Easy. Blade on with Maestro. This is going to be gold. You're damn right, mother lovers. There was a little stream before, but we had to make sure that we get Blade on the actual screen, not just a picture of him. Even though this is still, some level of art, this is still not him being here in the flesh. This is way better than just looking at a picture of him on the phone, looking like, bruv, trust me.
Bro, if you wanted me there, you should have just said I would have come.
Yeah, we got to trust me. That's going to happen, bruv. You know what I mean?
That's coming.
Yeah,
we've got a booth here. We've got a little booth. I
didn't want to overstep the mark. You know what I mean?
No.
Bro, I'll tell you something. This is kind of important. It's weird how artists that are just doing demos, that have never had any success, that have never put anything out and whatever, and you say to them, do you want to come on and do something? And they give you a hard time, and they're just difficult. And then you turn around and ask people who've been all over TV, radio, they're stars and all that, and you ask them and they're like, oh, when a legend calls, you just got to go.
Yeah. I mean,
Listen to the logic behind that, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the same thing to you. The way I see it is, when a legend like Maestro, My Stiggy calls up, you got to go.
Nah, man, come on, bro. I can't have you telling me that. Like, you want to... Wait. I think I got something in my eyes still.
No, bro, seriously, look, I have had mega stars. I'm talking superstars. Tell me that. So, you know what I mean? The thing is, you don't understand, like, how there are people out there that are massive superstars, and they're fans of yours, fans of mine, and
is
you know what I mean? It's mad. You just don't realize it.
Yeah,
just because you haven't achieved their level of success, it doesn't mean they don't rate you the same way the world rates them.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you never know, man. That's the thing. I never know, and sometimes I feel like it's cool if I don't know that. You do get into this business and you start making music. At first, people are like, yeah, you're good, man. You're coming up. Yeah, brother, like what you're doing. And then once you kind of get to a stage, it feels like that all. It's almost like they're like, yeah, he knows he's good. It's like, yeah, let him, there's no conversation is even not as warm as it used to be. It's a bit cold and, a lot less syllables in the sentence and whatnot. And, that's the thing about the UK hip hop scene is that there is, I think from the outside looking in, it does seem like it's cliquey and people are mad tight and whatnot, or even back in the day in terms of that. But it never really was in terms of people. It wasn't like we all had each other's numbers, and you know, I'd have people call me up, yo, have you got so and so's number? I'm like, oh, nah, I don't. You know, we might have done a couple tunes, but we don't. You know, we're not that close, kind of thing. And so, in that sense, it is kind of sad in that way. I feel like that's one thing that really should change a lot more. You know, it's not like we have to force it or anything, but there's a lot of us who do get along really well when we link up, and you know, we should make it more than just whenever we see each other at certain events. So things like this and things like what you're doing. I wanted to, you know, get back into though the CD thing. When you decided, what made you decide to start doing that? And then who have you been working with in terms of...
Sorry, bro, can you give me 1 second? Sorry.
Ah, of course, man. All the seconds you want. That was 1 second, by the way. Yo, who else is in the building? Who's caught back up with us? Alexander Morrison. Yes, we back. Shout out to Yomar. Yo, you good, bruv?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry, bro. Just had to open the door for someone.
Nah, all good, man.
Yeah, so, you know, there's a little bit of a lag on the camera.
Yeah, probably, you know, this technology. You know what I was thinking about today? How, like, yo, all this Wi-Fi and just a bit of rain, this whole shit just fucks up. Like, rain, how's rain messing up the Wi-Fi? When you don't know how to synthesize, like, the venom from a Scorpio and shit, or you can make a monkey do telekinesis.
That's progress.
What the hell's going on?
It's progress. That's what it is.
Madness, bruv. You know what I mean? This Wi-Fi better fix the...
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
so,
sorry. What was your question?
So it was to do with the CD business. You know, this is something people might not never know nothing about, which is the fact that you, after sort of paving the way for a bunch of rappers, you then paved the way for a bunch of musicians, a bunch of artists, particularly from the UK, by starting up your own CD business, CD burning. Both like, you know, promo to finished full, I don't know the terminology, but I remember when you sent me the list and whatnot. Replications, you know what I mean? Replications, yeah, all that shit, all the Asians in there when it comes to pressing up CDs. And when you were reeling off the names that you were actually doing this stuff for, I was like, wow, like, okay, no wonder it's popping off like that. So yeah, please start about how you got into it, and then from then on, you know, you worked with and whatnot.
Okay, well, how I started the CD business was purely by accident. Basically, what happened is when I did my last album, I pressed up 800 copies of 6 different projects, and I went to a company called Heathman's. And when I went to them, they messed up the jobs, and the audio was printed onto the, like where you had the print, say you had like 2 track titles, they'd burn the album onto the 2 track titles, and then, so basically they cocked up every job. Right? However, you know, that cost me £4,800 and plus VAT. However, they didn't want to redo the job unless I paid again. And I'm like, well, how am I paying again when you screwed up? I've sent you everything, and really you should have matched titles with titles, all the artwork's there. You've done the masters for me. You've actually produced, you know, I came to you to get the mastering done, so you got all the masters labeled and everything. Anyway, long story short, I didn't have the money to redo it again. They weren't going to redo it again, so I went to Maplin with the last bit of money I had. I bought 5,000 CDs, and I sat at home with a computer, and I burnt every CD one at a time on my computer. And I was there doing that all day, all night. Yeah, so I just kept burning them one at a time. And so we're talking 4,800 CDs. And then after that, I had to print all these little labels and then stick labels on them because I didn't have a CD printer. So I put Blade, Storms of Brewing, Blade, Scream, Blade, whatever. And, you know, I basically ended up like pretty much feeling like I've got arthritis or whatever going on, and it pissed me off. So in the anger of all of this, I called a company and I said to them, you know what? I'm going to take you out of business.
Wow.
That's what I said. I'm going to take you out of business. Like I'm pissed off now.
You trumped them.
Right?
That's what Trump did to Obama, isn't it?
Well, what happened is my career in music, I just felt like everything was against me. You know, radio wasn't supporting because I was no longer signed to a label. I was doing things independently. You know, distributor went bankrupt and left me with all like 15,000 copies of the album or whatever we pressed up, 12,000, 15,000. I couldn't even get access to the stock. Everything was just wrong. So, you know, in all the frustration, I thought, screw this. You know what? I'm just going to like start a CD business. But I didn't actually think start a CD business. What I actually wanted to do was buy the machine and then print the CDs myself, yeah, which was going to cost me about 20p a piece. And then I was going to hit all the festivals and I was going to sell 20, 30,000 CDs at 50p each.
Wow.
And that's how it all started. But when I started and I sent out some of these promos to radio DJs, the radio DJs are calling me saying, who does your CDs for you? They look really good. But no one's commenting on the music. So I just thought, you know what the fuck am I wasting my time being an artist for when all people care about is how the CDs look?
Jeez.
So I went and bought, like when I bought the first machine and I did this, and I realized that all the phone calls are coming in are about how the CDs look.
Yeah.
And how quick the production process is and all that kind of stuff when they found out after questioning me.
That's deep.
I set up a phone line I set up an email address and said, we don't deal by phone. Because I was worried that if they hear my voice and they know who I am, they ain't going to come to me.
Yeah.
So bit by bit, you know, I started getting a few orders. My first ever customer was actually Boombox. Boombox was my first ever customer.
Yeah.
And via Boombox, I had a kind of a sly little dealing with Brain Tax, which didn't work out right. And but basically, turns out I was doing. You know what? It's their story. I'll leave them to explain it if they ever want to explain it. I just printed the CDs.
The names have changed. The game remains the same. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what happened is I set up the email address. I started getting orders, and then someone called a number that I previously sent out. And when they called me and they talked to me on the phone, they were like, "Is that Blade?" And I was like, "No, it's not." Trying to change my voice and all kinds of shit.
Oh shit!
The guy goes, "Bro, I'm a fan. I'm gonna tell everyone you're doing the CD."
Yeah.
Next minute, I was like, "Why am I hiding? People are coming to me because I am Blade."
Yeah.
And then I just basically carried on as Blade, and like within 3-4 months, I made my money back for the equipment, and I bought loads more equipment. And then I decided, you know what? It's like I'm making money more than I made as an artist, and it's happening a lot quicker and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, the idea was keep the prices low, get the customers, and then up the prices to compete with the rest of the industry. But then I thought, you know what? Why am I doing that? I'm living, I'm comfortable, I ain't struggling. So I'll keep the prices low in order to help artists be able to carry on. And that's why I kept the prices low.
Wow.
And,
you met that crossroad. What you're explaining is that crossroad where you could have gone to that dark side. You could have gone the way of the tax man, the way of certain people where they talk about the entities and all the messed up things that go on in the world that do people wrong, but then they end up doing the same stuff themselves, which is messed up. And you got to that road and you decided, nah, actually, I'm not going to try and be that. That's what I was going against. And if you really look, you know what I mean? I don't need to mention names, but if you really look, there's a lot of people that end up doing that, and that's where they become successful. And it's sad because that means that a lot of other people feel like that's what they probably need to do, and it doesn't matter as much, but it's real soulless thing to do.
And then this guy, Paddy, who was running a manufacturing company, gave me credit notes when I walked in there with ripped up trainers and jeans. He knew I was broke. He knew I didn't have no money, but he still gave me credit notes to get 5,000 vinyl pressed.
Jeez.
And I thought, wow, you know what? He gave me a chance, and I learned from that guy. You know what I mean? I learned from that guy, and I thought, you know what? I'm always going to remember that the good guys do make a difference. The bad guys generally end up getting richer because they're selfish. The more they get, the more they want, and it never stops. They don't know when to stop.
Yeah.
But I have to always remind myself, I wasn't driven by money. I'm not driven by money. And I would rather know that I'm giving someone an opportunity to get themselves back on track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And that's something we're going to get into in a little bit as well, because you're definitely on your word when you're talking about that. So that's how it ended up where you became pretty much, you know what I mean, the go-to guy. And who were you pressing CDs for? Like, it's a ridiculous roster, isn't it?
Yeah, the roster's endless, bro. But before I go there, what I was saying about the company that messed up my CD jobs, I told them I give them 3 years before I take them out of business. It took me 2 years, and I took them out of business. They went bankrupt within 2 years. And I stole all their customers. So Heathmans, if you're watching this, I stole all your customers. And I even called you on the day and told you I stole your customers. There you go.
We lost
anyway.
That's
sorry,
crazy,
that's the competitive hip hop side of me coming out now.
Nah, bruv, that's what it's all about, man. We need that fire, especially in this, you know, in our scene. Like I was talking about earlier, I feel like people do hold back a bit when it comes to. It feels like they're a bit worried about what people think of them. You know, they don't want people to talk about them in a negative way or whatever, but they're forgetting, you know, like we're talking about with the YouTube algorithms. You get dislikes, that means you'll get more people watching it. You know, regardless. Yeah. And that's what, you know, the energy that you bring, whenever we're having conversations, I always get that energy from you. Like, you don't give a fuck. I don't care, bruv. Like, this is what I want to do. And you've been doing that all the way through, even to the point of, you know what I mean? Like you said, you're telling them, look, give me 3 years. You lot are done for what you done to me. Hey, you need the bad guy, you know, so you can point your finger. It's like, bruv, hustler. And the hustle level, bruv, you're taking it to extremes, man. You know, people definitely got to learn about that. If you want, and whenever you want, you can come back and make tunes and put them out.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I've basically put myself in a position where I have choices, and that's all I really wanted. You know what I mean? It's like people keep going, oh, money gives you choices. But you know what? Sometimes just knowing the right people gives you choices, and money doesn't really buy you anything. It just brings you problems. I mean, so, you know, it is what it is. But what you were saying, about doing what I want and all that. My missus always said, the day I die, on my gravestone, I did it my way. You know what I mean?
That's the way, isn't it? For real.
Yeah.
Like, no one can deny that. You know what I mean? Like, the bottom line is, you know, when you step out on a limb to do what you love and make it become a business, you know, regardless, people can't deny that. There's going to be people that look at it in some certain way and then people that look at it in others, but regardless, what's true to you and what matters to yourself, that's all that really, you know, your family, your immediate family and whatnot, that's all that you should really focus on, as opposed to what other people think. And because we're all different anyway, and it's like, you carry on doing it the way you want to do it. If it works out, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
But what I always say to people as well is that what worked for me doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for you. You got to find your own way. I mean, and you know, I've tried things other people have done and it flops. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there's no right and wrong way for people. You just got to do something, and you just never know when you're suddenly going to find the whole world wants to know about you.
Yeah. So it's been a proper roller coaster ride.
Yeah. And you know that better than most.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, bro. Definitely, man. What has been your what sort of highlights? You know, when you look back on things, like what are the moments that you really, you know, you get that feeling? You know, when you think about a time when you were performing somewhere or whatever crowd or at some event or whatever.
I mean, the one, you know what, the one time that I remember the most and is stuck and it's engraved in my memory is when we did the show at the Mean Fiddler. I mean, there's hundreds of shows like I mentioned. Like the one we did at Scala was amazing. So we tore the place down. You know what I mean? I'm saying like I was worried the balconies were going to collapse and shit.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? But the one at the Mean Fiddler, the reason I remember it is because I knew the next morning my life was going to change. I felt it when I was on the stage. Like I actually froze on the stage and I cried a couple tears. You know what I mean? Beautiful. And then I froze and I apologized for freezing. And I turned around to a few close friends that were there and I said, my life's changing, you know. I knew it. And the next day it changed. The next day the change began.
That's when it was like, okay, I'm doing this now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's crazy that you're doing this for 20 years. You've been on every stage, you've done everything, and not once have you thought my life's going to change. But on the one night before, I said it, and the next day, everything changed. Everything.
Make some noise for that, boy. Jeez, man, that's levels, bruv, levels.
Yeah.
And it's come to this as well.
So in terms of in terms of the CDs, bro, the list, like I said, the list is endless, bro. I've done CDs for UK legends now. Some of these people don't even know I've done CDs for them because I was doing it for their distributors. But people like Reg 32, Kano, Wiley, Dizzy, and then I've actually had 50 Cent's office call me up to get CDs done and sent to Germany the next day. And then them calling me back and thanking me for getting it the next day. Skepta, needed 10,000 CDs going to New York in 2 days. I had to turn it around in 2 days. So I was dealing with his management and, things like that. So many, but then also we talk about like them guys, but we're like all the UK artists, your For Life Cyphers, your Life MCs, your AC, hip-hop, your Harry Shotters and yourself, my Stiggy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Like there's so many, bro. It doesn't, and pop artists. I was doing CDs for Amy Winehouse's dad, and he's not a pop artist, but you know what I'm saying.
No, just random, yeah. Boy, that's some work, man. That is some graft, brother. And then so you all right. So you got all that done. You're like, okay, I'm moving on from this now, and you started a new project, and this one, which is interesting, is even more so about. The scene that you said was like, the UK hip hop world in terms of like artists like ourselves that are out there doing the independent thing. In your mind, you felt like, and like I think quite a few of us have felt like this as well, but couldn't put our finger on it. But there needs to be some platforms that kind of represent what we do, as opposed to what's already out there that you might get sprinkles of us here and there. I can see you're more sort of focused on the scene as well as you'll sprinkle some of that, the other side of, the rap world, I guess you call it. Please break down the numbers, what this is about and who you've had on so far as well.
Okay, right. So basically, when I started the CD business, going back to the CD business, originally it was because I needed to pay my bills and not lose my house. And I was on the verge of losing my house. Then what happened is, as soon as I realized the CD business is doing better than I thought, I just made my focus to basically make it easier for artists to be able to carry on. That's the only way I could help them, to the point where I was giving credit notes and, basically taking risks and people not paying what they owed and all that kind of stuff. And it's life. It is what it is. It's like they have to live with that, not me.
Say it on return type.
But then what happened is, when I started realizing that there's less and less CDs happening because more and more people are putting their stuff onto platforms and they're streaming them and they don't really care about having CDs, I thought, my ability to help everybody has suddenly come to an end. And I just feel like I'm not helping enough people. So then I started figuring out, and I said this to my missus long time, one of these days I'm going to have to stop doing this and do something else where I can carry on helping people. And she said, for God's sake, whatever you do, make sure that it's not going to involve you giving all your money away again. So I thought, what can I do? And then the first thing I thought was, you know what? I keep hearing artists always talking about how, they don't get the support and how the youngers have come in and they're trying to change history and their stories are not documented and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, all right, I've got an idea. So I'm going to start this channel and I'm going to document the elders' stories, so that their story is told and they can take something to their grave with them. You know what I mean? While I'm bringing in, the new generation of artists. But there's all those people in between, people like yourself and the up-and-coming guys that I've never really had a look in, but they've been rapping for 10 years. And everyone's basically relying on social media. And I'm thinking, do you not, without being rude, are you not seeing what's going on? Like, you're putting your stuff on social media and 4 hours later it's disappeared, it's gone somewhere, and no one's seen it after that. So I just thought something needs to change, and my personal belief is, if you can make enough noise with a YouTube channel and have somewhere that people can always come back to, then people will always come back to, as long as the content's good. And in terms of the artists that I've had so far, I've had people like Mercury from Gunshot, I've had Dexter from Brotherhood, I've had All City Steve who runs his channel and all that. I've been asking you to come on the show for a while.
Now we're doing that,
so
man.
I'm just waiting for that day.
Yeah, man. Of course, bro.
But yeah, there's then obviously Jazz T's been on there, and Jazz came along a few weeks ago, and he brought Big Cakes and G-Bag, Alexander Shaw, Joker Star, Sublingual, Ash the Author, Fizzy Strauss. So there's loads of things that are coming.
Wow.
I mean, there's loads of things that are coming.
That's heavy, man. That's what we need, bruv.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, my mission is just, if you're serious, you're serious. If I have to chase you, if I call somebody and they're fobbing me off, I'm cool. If you fob me off twice, I'm never calling you again. All I'll do is say to you, I'm going to play the same game you're playing, which is, I'm busy now. You're going to have to come back in 7 years.
Hello, yeah. 7 years, you know. I like the 7 years, man. That's you know what I mean? That's a strong number to give someone. So, and then, so, all right, so now we're here. What's it called again? The channel is?
521, 0521, 05:21 official on YouTube.
And why is it 0521?
Well, I was managing a music group that didn't work out. And when my son was in the studio, he used to come back home from the studio every day at 5:21 pretty much. Like every night I would look at it 4 months in a row, and like 80% of the time it was 5:21. So I thought, you know what? It's like when they were coming out with all these names like Gangster this, Murderer that, I thought, nah, just think of something that's going to make people ask you why. Why that? And the first thing I thought was 5:21.
Wow.
So,
see that? It's like a loop. You can keep looping that story. It's 5:21.
But you know what's mad, bro?
Yeah.
You know what's mad, bro? I took a picture of me with a crew 30 years ago in 1990 for a record cover. And above me is a clock on a platform, on a train platform.
Yeah, you told me this. Yeah.
You look at that clock.
And of course,
it's 5:21.
5:21.
Yeah.
Mad. 30 years ago, bro.
Yeah.
March 26, 1990.
And when you break that down, 521.
Well, you know what? While
8.
we're talking, because my image looks like it's just stagnant, so I can look at my
frozen.
phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've frozen again, man. Sorry about
It's
that.
a tasteful picture, though. You're looking wistfully up towards the sky.
You're like, yeah, I'm about to
staring
press
into
the
the
button on
distance.
these mother lovers.
What I'm going to do, bro, I am going to send you this image. Have a look at it. All right, I'm going to WhatsApp it to you right now.
Okay.
But obviously, don't make it public. This is between me and you.
Oh, don't make it public. All right. Oh, see that? That's how close we are. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Don't make it public.
I ain't bragging on that. Let me see this. Wow.
You see it?
Wow. 521 for real. Jeez.
March 25th, 1990. You see that, bro?
25th. That's mad, isn't it? March 25th. That's the third. Wow. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, that's mad, man. Jeez. Yeah. See? So that's why you called it 521. I don't blame you there, bruv.
No, I didn't call it for that. I didn't even realize about that
No,
picture.
not the picture, but yeah. That's mad, man. That's mad. And then that picture pops up and you're like, oh, I didn't even notice this before, innit?
Yeah. 30 years later, I noticed it.
Synchronicity. Synchronicity, my brother.
One of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Shout out to the people in the building. IBMCs is giving you a shout. He was saying, English Frank made, was it 55,000 CDs?
Yeah, English Frank. English Frank did 30,000 CDs on one run and 20,000 on another run. So I love English Frank, man. Really good dude,
hustler, man.
and a sick MC as well.
Yeah. He's got bars, man.
He has. He's sick, bro.
Shout to Yelmar. Shout to Charlie Chalk. He's loving the sea creatures. You know how we do, man. We keep it deep around here. Mr. Green is bigging you up heavy as well. He's saying, you know what I mean? We're one of the best to ever do it. And he said you're a real head. Respect to Blade, you're a real head. So, you know what I mean? There's people in there. The other chat had a couple little bits and bobs that people had mentioned they'd met you before. I think Gleam was saying that you put him up on stage on his very first show or something like that. And then there's a couple others, man, of people bigging you up. But, bruv, so this is what you're doing now, I really think says even more about your level of mentality when it comes to this, let alone, you know, the hip-hop world, like that culture, but business mind as well. You know, you've gone to places where people might have kind of, they've tried, they've stepped there and thought, oh, it's a bit scary here on my own doing this. But you've carried on all the way through the darkness and come out to the light. Now, you know what I mean, running this platform. You've had a bunch of different artists on there already. Obviously, I'm coming on there. You better, you know what I mean, make some space for me.
I missed out a name. I missed out the name that I really wanted to mention, but I missed out that name for a reason, because I know you're going to mention him in a minute.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing I was talking about, is if we can get it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Basically, obviously, like you said, you've had this artist on, had a deep conversation. People need to go check out. So it's 0521 on YouTube, right?
05:21 official.
Official, okay. Official on YouTube. Go check out the interviews. One of the last ones he had was another legend, you know what I mean, that we should all definitely be looking up to in terms of setting standards for a whole bunch of rappers out there, producers out there, and people that are just, into the scene in general. The amount of influence he's had, it's you can't even. It's like, how do you say it? Do you know what I mean? There's so many different artists where you're like, yeah, you used to be a fan, or you still are a fan, or you grew up on that shit. Shout out to my brother Chester P. Blade, you had the idea to start up a GoFundMe for Chester after doing an interview with him, and I saw this. I actually wanted to get Chester on because he said he was up for coming on the show to have a chat, but I didn't hear nothing, and then I saw a post of his where he said, he's staying offline for a bit. So I figured something was going on. But then obviously this came through as well. I saw this in terms of GoFundMe, and I, obviously wasn't sure what it was about. But if I don't want us to get into his business because I think that's up for him to say. But obviously he gave you the blessing, like, yeah, bruv, whatever you want to do. You decided you wanted to start a GoFundMe, and what was the reason behind that? Obviously, without going into what you don't want to.
Well, the reason behind it is, like, look, when I was young, I was competitive as an artist. Then it got to a point where I was just like, look, I just want to feed my family and make sure that there's a roof over our head. And then bit by bit, I let go of all the ego, and then then I started hearing artists like Chester, and I'm like, damn, like, these guys are just sick. You know what I mean? And and I, like, behind the scenes, I was sitting down with friends, and I was always like, and this has been like 20, 30 years. I've been moaning about how people ain't getting a break that they deserve. But then there are artists out there who do silly things and they get breaks just because something went viral, something stupid. Like, I could, you could get somebody, I don't know, in I guess in the grime scene or whatever, and they just go, doop, 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 doop. And it's like, it goes viral. And I'm in. So, but, then you get somebody like your level of MCing and Chester's level of MCing and Farmer's level of MCing, and it's like, what happens? Look at all the guys like Big Cakes and like I said, G-Bag and you know what I mean, like Joker Star and all them, Harry Shotter, all these guys, they're sick, and their lives should have changed because of the music. So when I was doing the interview with Chester, and I started like hearing him talking about how he's basically lived a life where he hasn't really seen the rewards from the music industry. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back to the way I was when I started standing on the street selling my records. And I said to myself, if they ain't going to do it, I'm going to do it for myself. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I need to try and convince people, like, if the industry is not going to look after us, then we need to look after ourselves. Now, if we can get one of the best rappers out there that we know, not just in the UK, but in the world, like Chester P, and we can help to change his life, and we can show people that togetherness can do something like that for someone, maybe it'll encourage everyone else to start helping each other a little bit more, because they can see what a little bit of togetherness can achieve. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's too much selfishness, there's too much greed, and there's too much envy, and there's too much hate. Every time, I see so many people going, yeah, it's sick that my man's on stage with, I don't know, with Public Enemy. But then behind closed doors, as soon as they turn around and they go around the corner and they bump into me, wanker. You know what I mean? And somebody like Chester doesn't deserve that. He deserves all the rewards. Somebody like you, and I'm not just saying it because I'm on the phone to you, I'm on a call to you now, because I've always said it. And not just to you, I've said it to everybody. Yeah, I do talk behind your back, Maestro. I mean, but I tell people that that's a guy that should really be getting somewhere.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, bro.
But it's not just you. It doesn't. The buck doesn't stop with Chester and you. It doesn't stop with all like the big guys. Look at all people like For Life Cypher, Life MC in them. You know what I mean? Look at Jest. Look at Parky.
So what are you looking to do with the Chester P fundraiser? What's the total outcome of it?
Okay, well, look, the thing is, when I heard that he's just basically never had it easy, I just thought, you know what? In the interview, there was a couple of points where I was starting to get a bit angry at some of the things he was saying. Not angry at him, angry at the things he's had to go through. And there was also a couple of parts where like I was holding back tears because I know other people that have been in them situations, and I wish I could have done more. So what I'm really trying to do is basically put him in a situation where he can hopefully get the help that he needs, carry on recording, and also maybe, if we can raise 50 grand, bro, I'd love to see like him saying, my rent's been paid for the year. Now I can sit down and focus on being an artist.
Yeah,
So that's real community work, though. That's what you're encouraging, is like trying to build a community.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just doing it basically not because I'm looking for attention, and Chester's definitely not looking for attention either. You know what I mean? I just did it basically because in the interview I said it in passing, and then I had about 50, 60, 70 people message me going, where can I contribute? Start a GoFundMe. So I thought, you know what? I might as well start a GoFundMe. And that's why I started the GoFundMe. So thanks to all the people that privately messaged, you're the reason I started the GoFundMe. And now Chester's got a little bit of money he didn't have yesterday.
And so ultimately people they'll be able to fund an artist to live his life and be able to put out more art. I mean, that's ultimately what it is.
Well, the problem most times is the artist hasn't even got the money to start recording.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm hoping is this is going to help him to raise his production level, which will hopefully help him to get material out there, which will hopefully get fans buying his material and allowing him to carry on because he's making money from the music and he's just able to continue being an artist. Yeah. Somebody like Chester P should not be working in Tesco. He needs to be living with a bed in the studio.
Man.
Yeah, and it's the same for you. Ice Diggy, it's the same for you. It's the same for someone like Life MC. It's the same for Jest. It's the same for Parky. It's just, what I'm saying? There's loads of them. Ramson Bad Bones. I could just, Kashmir. Jesus. How do I forget Kashmir?
Yeah. What do you think has been, because it's like you're mentioning names where it's like there's classics, there's a level of expertise that is, second to none. Everyone got their own style. But what do you think it is that's kind of held back, like what we do, the style of music that we do out here?
I just think like what's happened is what I see is what I've always seen, which is that everybody wants to be the artist, but no one really knows how to run the business. And I just think if we had a few people that were in the game that knew how to run the business and weren't shafting all the artists, then we would achieve a lot more. But that's my belief. I always think that there's always somebody up there who's dangling a carrot and telling the artist, we can offer you the world, and then they make all the money and they leave the artist broke and it's done. We can go into the story of, your first-hand experience to what was going on with Lowlife.
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs.
Well, that's the thing about that, is that I think because everyone had their own experience with Brain Tax and everything that went on, with the whole breakup of Lowlife, for me personally, and I've mentioned this in a couple of episodes before, but it kind of changed the level of integrity you'd probably give people and trust you'd put in them as well. So it's quite hard to go, okay, yo, should we start working? I'll put out some music with you, because you just feel like, right, you're going to end up doing the same thing what this guy's done. So I can imagine that for each of us, we must have felt that to some extent. I think there were people that were smart enough to move on and not really take it to heart. in certain ways, but then some of us might, and it makes it harder for you to trust people, like I'm saying. So then from then on, in terms of working with people, it probably take longer than it would normally, or you're not making the right decisions anyway because you still kind of scarred from what's gone on. As this is something that you love doing. When you do something that you love, there's more energy that's been put into it, and when it gets treated a certain way, that energy gets crushed from within. And then how do you still communicate with people on a trustful level after that? It's quite hard. And I don't know everything the ins and outs of what Chester's been through, but there's a couple of people saying it was a brilliant interview, by the way. You lot should go check out the Chester P interview over there on 05:21 official, because he breaks down a lot on there. And, you know what I mean? Because I don't know fully what he's gone through, I can only imagine what it must be like. Do you know what I mean? Because of what I've experienced. And for him, it's probably even crazier because of, the life that he's lived through it all. So I think it's really, really special that you're doing something like this, man. Like, definitely people should get involved whatever you can, because regardless of how much gets made, at least he gets something, and he knows that the people out there that appreciate what he's done for this thing that we love. Do you know what I mean? And Blade, for real. Yeah. Like, to have the balls to just do it and go, fuck it, I don't give a damn whatever people think. That's real love, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've had people sending me abusive messages and all that, and I do what I do typically as Blade. Fuck off, I'm off. I don't need to talk to you. You haven't contributed to me, you haven't contributed to the scene, you haven't contributed to Chester. Don't need to explain nothing to you, move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And but it's life. This is why, like, the whole hip hop culture is kind of like stayed stagnant and hasn't moved on. We've seen, like, at one point where America, or New York in particular, was the capital of hip hop. And at one point, Britain, like England, London in particular, wasn't far off. It was like the second or the third capital of hip hop, if you can call it that.
Yeah, I think France.
Then it wasn't long before France, Germany, Spain, Australia, everybody took over. So what happened to England? Why are we the ones that stayed stagnant and everyone's moved on? Why are all the underground artists in France and Germany able to buy houses or pay their bills or whatever, and the UK artists can't?
And you're saying it's the business.
They have to get regular jobs.
But there was newer forms of
income.
No, the music form sort of changed in the UK into like much more potent form of like control of young people's minds with like a more violent style. So I think that like what happened in New York back in the 90s sort of happened in the UK with the whole sort of the rise of like the grime gang. And the sort of now this drill stuff. I think it's really
gang
left behind all of the true artists and the true lyricists.
Okay, well, can I ask you something? So do you think we should just lie down and accept?
No way, no. That's what we're doing. That's what this is. That's what this show. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be part of try and be part of a renaissance.
Right. So that's basically the reason why I asked that, because I wanted to hear you say that.
No, yeah.
Man.
You won't hear me say anything else.
Right.
That's why we're talking right now, bruv.
So what I'm saying is, with you, with what I'm doing, with what Canadian dad in Canada is doing, like with people like us that are doing things for the right reasons, then there's no reason why, people won't kind of gravitate to it. You get what I'm saying? Look, if, like Sky, you can have movies with all, like, I don't know, horror, people getting slashed left, right, and center, gangster movies, whatever, and everyone's watching it. But there's still going to be a good number of people that's going to want to watch documentaries and real life shit. You understand?
Yeah.
So what we have to do is, like, just all I'm saying to people is, just because the majority don't go for it, don't think that there's not going to be enough people that's going to want to go for it to make you be able to buy your house and buy your car and take your family on holidays. And
the community and the community is actually quite a big community in the UK and worldwide. A lot of people around the world actually just liked UK rap. So
if they work together, it'll be massive.
Yeah.
And just remember, there's 7 billion people in the world.
I think.
You know what I mean? We only need half.
I think
we only need the 0.01%, and we're good.
Back in like the mid 2000s, everything low life. It was all part of a sort of a grouping that was there was clubs and clothing and record shops and labels and and everybody was, and I think that the low life thing, the collapse of low life was really quite instrumental in taking away a lot of energy from the scene at the time.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think it took time to recover.
My personal belief is when that happened, like everybody I spoke to had lost any faith in what was going on, because we thought that low life basically was one of our own doing what they were doing for the scene. And then when all the news went out about like Brain Tax robbing everybody, suddenly all the trust was gone. All the trust was gone. So what we need to do is we need to find someone who everybody will trust. Someone who's not going to rob anybody, someone who's going to do things for all the right reasons. And then maybe that way, it's like what we do, we build a little like togetherness. When I tell you what would be nice, say My Stiggy's doing a show on Friday. It'll be nice for 30 different MCs. Like what you were saying, Maestro, what you were saying earlier about everyone's phone numbers and all that kind of stuff. I imagine if I could call 30 MCs and go, yo, My Stiggy's performing on Friday night at so-and-so.
Yeah, can we all go? Exactly, bruv. It's mad. And then, bruv, jump on. Like, I got 16 bars in this. Come jump on, do 16. Yeah, don't worry. I'll show you when to come in. You know what I mean? It'll be fun as well.
Not even that. Just imagine what the fans are going to be seeing. The fans are going to be like, raw, Cashman's here. This guy's here. Jax P's here. Oh, my God, what's going on? And if they see that kind of support, then bit by bit, the mentality is going to change, I believe. I might be wrong, but I'm just saying it's like right now, we're living in a fishbowl mentality where someone who lives in Brighton is happy performing to the guys at the end of his road. And he doesn't care about going any further because he's happy with his ego being boosted. Your ego is not going to pay your bills, bro.
True.
Jeez, your ego's not going to pay your bills, bro. That's solid, man. Joe, bruv, big up, man. Let me shout out what some of the people are saying here. Yeah, more says another real one, Chester P, respect. IBMCs, yep. Blade's right, he's a good guy and a genius. 100 people take 100 copies, how it's done. Charlie Chalk says that Chester P interview is amazing. What else? Shout to IBMC, says he's got PLC. Watch out for it. Yeah, he's got a PLC. Something coming with PLC. So yeah, man, look out for that. Black Einstein says, enough respect, Blade. Selfless with a heart emoji. Stefan, 88 Hawk says, Chess raised a stack of cases. Oh, remember this. He raised a stack of cash a few years back to buy sleeping bags, etc. for the homeless. I remember that. Legend for real. And so, you know what I mean? It's just things like that make you think like, wow, another selfless person, and how dare this happen? Like, we let this happen, like for him to not get the dues that he deserves and to end up, just feeling this way. It's like, man, Blade's right, man, 100%. The talent that's there, it doesn't deserve that treatment at all. Shout out to Barry O. And shout out to Barry O. He says community is the way forward for all of us. And that is truth. Community, we have to all communicate with each other. And do you know what I mean? We're all on the same, like we were talking about earlier, being under the same roof when you're at a gig. Oh, let's go out, have a blade. You know what I mean? People chit-chatting. It's the same thing we could carry on doing outside of that. It doesn't have to just be when we link up and whatnot. Shout out to Chris Lahat. He says, really respect the spirit Blade's got for rejuvenating the UK scene. I'll back that one up for real. And he says, I reckon there'll be a film made about you one day. I've been watching this unfold over the last couple years, and he reckons it'll be a great story. For real, boy. And Yamor, she's got a good point. She says, I think in the UK, part of it has been the lack of female presence too, which I
agree.
You can't blame her for saying that at all, because it's very true.
No, I agree. That's why I got Oracy in. I've asked Amy True to come in. I asked Jazz Kahina to come in. And I just wanted to get females in because
get that balance.
What? This is not a gender thing. It's like, it's talent thing.
Exactly. If you got
some of them girls are better spitters than a lot of the guys.
Jeez. Well, you won't mention no names.
Careful.
There, you know what I mean?
I'll mention names if you want, bro.
Go on.
Yeah,
go on. Yeah, man. What else we got there? Oh, O'Shea, MC O'Shea. Oh, is that O'Shea for real? O'Shea, the battle. I don't know if it's the battle rapper or not. But he says, absolute legends here. I love you guys. As a UK hip hop fan from my heart, thank you for being part of the soundtrack of my life. The soundtrack of my life. Jeez, that means a lot, man. I mean, woo. IBMCs has uploaded a UK hip hop classic, Blade Anthem on YouTube. So yeah, you lot check that out. But yeah, man, this is boy, you've dropped some knowledge on us, bruv, and really, you know, one thing you're doing is making, and I can feel that energy even from the people hitting us up, is like, you're making me feel like it is worth pushing on and keep, you know, carrying on doing this, because let alone, 10 years ago or whatever, 15 years ago, you were just like, oh shit, this thing's going to pop off. And then obviously it turned to dust with this low life thing. There was a point where you're just like, is it really, you're looking around and you're like, okay, but people want this type of stuff. And you don't see it as much. You don't see who wants to be there as much as they did in the mid-noughties or whatever. And so it can mess you up in your head. You're like, is it above or like, what's the... But you talking like that, bro, let's put the fire in.
You know what, if we look at the world and we look at the real life situations, like, when you're driving your car and your car tire blows up, what are you gonna do? You're gonna leave your car there to just rot. Or you're gonna change the tire and move on. Fair enough, a lot of things went wrong in the scene, but we can't just leave it there to rot. We have to fix the problem as well. Amen. And then we have, like, if someone's a problem, like in your situation, like the brain tax thing was a problem. What you do, you then find other people that you can gravitate to, and you build with them other people.
Yeah, you don't know that though. You're not taught that at the time. Like at the time, I proper felt no one's even, tapping me on the shoulder and go, bruv, don't worry, this is what you can do now.
Then that comes to what that person was saying about communication. See, now if we all communicated, we'd all know we were all on the same page.
Exactly.
But no one communicates.
Shout out to Barry O for that. Yeah, see, the elders dropping knowledge. I told you lot, man. You lot are gonna, as we carry on, you'll find out. We do need to speak to the elders.
Communicate, bro. Do you know how many people I thought didn't like me, and then next minute I'm calling them and I'm finding out, bro, they're waiting for me to call them because they thought I didn't like them.
Yeah, and that I guess it's part of that MC spirit. Shout out to O'Shea, by the way. That is O'Shea, the battle rapper. He's in the building.
I said what's up as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He can hear you, man, for sure.
Oh, okay, wicked. What's up, O'Shea?
Yeah. It is that thing of there's a slight competitiveness with us as artists, I guess. But people get carried away with that. Like you're saying, the ego doesn't make you, but sometimes we forget that, and there's that blurred line of who you really are as a person. You know what's good, what's bad, and how, you shake someone's hand, all these things that, because it's a rapper, you don't even want to look in their direction.
Oh, but can I say something there? Can I say something there, right? I saw, when I interviewed Oracy, I saw a picture on Oracy's Instagram page with you standing on the side of the stage. And like I cut it out because it was sound quality wasn't that good at the point. But I said, either you spat some serious bars and Maestro's there pulling his face and going, "Rah," whatever, or someone farted. But the truth is, it's like, look, the thing is, you stood on that stage with 6-7 other MCs and you all occupied that same space and you all looked happy for each other, right? And how many times have I done shows? Every single show I've done, I've pulled someone from their local community up on stage to come and rap or beatbox or DJ or something. And yeah, it's a competitive sport, but there's no harm in like basically building the scene through the competition, which is what America's done, which is what everyone else has done.
Yeah. Friendly competition, isn't it?
Yeah. But then we have to also look at the realities of like, look, I do everything with kind of almost with a business mind. And I'm thinking this is deeper than that. It's like, maybe it's not the artist. Maybe we were blocked because we were saying too many sensible things in our music and we weren't on the dark side. Maybe, a few years ago, I read something about how major rappers in America are funding the prison system.
Yep. Break that down, bruv. Break that down, because it might sound a bit out there, but this might be some shit you might not never know nothing about. So let's go in.
Yeah, well, all right. So what I was reading, and I don't know how true this is, but I've tried to keep an eye on it. But basically, what happens is they put out all the negative music. They create beefs amongst each other on the street level. They kill each other. And the people at the record companies, the people that are investing, and a lot of these people are accountants and lawyers and whatever, that are investing in this, basically want to see everybody killing each other or ending up in jail. Because when artists end up in jail, or when the gang members and whatever end up in jail, they're making money off of them. And that's how they basically get their money coming in. This is what I was reading. So I don't know how many people actually know about this, but go and do the research and see if it's the truth or not for yourself. I'm only saying what I read.
Yeah.
Right? And the reality is there are rappers out there that are billionaires, millionaires that are funding the prison system. Ask yourself why they're funding the prison system and why they treat all these artists like toilet paper.
Bruv, I don't know if people know, but you can look for this as well. But last year, in 2020, guess how many rappers passed away?
Over 150?
Yeah, man. I think it was 184, they said. 184 rappers. And to what you're saying there, like, it's either they go in jail or they get killed. And I don't know, that's quite a lot to just say just people. Obviously, there might be people that we don't class as rappers, you know, quote unquote, or whatever, but this is what the news out there is. And yeah, there's got, I don't know, for me, there's something going on. I don't know what, but that seems quite a lot. And to what you're saying, there was a story that came out a long time ago. I think it was back in the sort of early Twitter days, so maybe like 2010, you know, around that sort of time. And it came out on a blog, and it was someone kind of confessing about how the music industry at a certain point in the 90s, sort of early 90s, decided it would switch to promoting more gangster style music, and how like the owners of the record labels were actually invested in the prison system as well. And so there was a way that,
And none of this is coincidence. It's all happened for years. It's not in the last 2-3 years. It's been going on for 20-30 years. When they realized that rock music no longer makes money, that they had to switch it up to something else. So what do? They bring it onto the streets, and they get all the street gangs fighting each other, going in jail, dying, and they don't care. And the thing is, because they've thrown money into the equation and they've promised these people the world, people are happy to go and get themselves killed over it. I know people that are getting killed over a pair of trainers. Because their trainer is £20 more than the other person's trainer.
And in the UK,
what's that got to do with music?
Yeah,
what's that got to do with music, bro?
It's spilled over into the UK now, isn't it? Like with the whole
of course.
drill and
but
all that.
the bottom line is, realistically, what has that got to do with music?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What the fuck are you wearing, man? What are you wearing? That's what. It's funny, man. It leads back. Like that's what Cameron was saying to Styles P. What the fuck is you wearing, man? It's like, bruv, don't worry about what I'm wearing. Just rap. Can you rap? Can you perform? Yeah. It was metaphorical. Watching that Versus thing, it was, you know, just on so many levels where you're looking at, okay, this is hip hop and this is hip hop, I guess. You know what I mean? And then you're seeing them back and forth, and you're realizing like this is why I love this style, this music, this, you know, this cadence, this, you know what I mean? All these different things, that this is the point where you realize.
I personally believe, right? Look, the thing is, do we need, like, all right, let me put it this way. When I was an artist, most people heard of me and whatever. Then I disappeared and did my CD business, and none of you heard of me for 15 years. But that was the best, most lucrative time for me financially and in terms of happiness and me getting on, you know, with my life and
comfortability.
Stuff.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about comfortability.
Right. So what I'm saying is, like, as long as we can get artists into a position where they're comfortable, they're making enough money from being artists where they don't need to go and get regular jobs and whatever, and they can go to studio and they're spending their entire week in the studio and they're providing music that you lot want to hear, and we keep this rolling, then nobody really needs millions. People need to stop being greedy and learn when to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, when is enough enough?
You're right, man. You're right.
When is enough enough?
I think there's a bunch of gems you've been dropping there. Man. So let's see what people are saying. Tremendous. When we're talking about female rappers, yep, Tremendous. Steph mentioned
course,
Tremendous. She's
'Tremendous.   Woo.
on a level as well. Oracy was amazing.
And
it's
don't
all
forget
needed
people
now.
like Tor, Ishata Sheriff.
Yeah, I said to Sheriff, yeah, she's fire as well, man. There's a lot, man. Like people, I think, like it's like you're saying, it's more or less the same thing. It's like we just need to kind of connect a bit more and not feel like it's even competition just being friends. It's like, nah, we can still be friends, and then when we're out there, do whatever, however you want to, your artist sort of character is, you be that. But, you know, we know that you're not the artist, you make the artist. You know what I mean? Don't make the artist make you. Did that make sense? I don't know, but Digman Freud might have popped in and out. Just
but you know, someone put up a post the other day, or made a comment the other day saying, he remembers Task Force did a show in Brighton about 15 years ago, and Ramps and Bad Bones, Remus, and a couple of the Brighton guys were there performing. And they were like, then they saw me walk through the door. And they were like, wow, we thought Blake was going to perform. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm here as a fan.
Yeah, I do the same thing, bruv. I've done gigs where I've watched everyone perform. Like, I think I was the headline. I've watched everyone perform. And then I go on and they all just go in the back. They didn't watch my set. And you're just like, right, man. And I think, fuck it, man. I'm doing it for the crowd anyway. But it's things like that where you're like, wow, people really... It's like competition all the way, isn't it? It's not actually friendly competition. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, but we need to bring back the friendliness, and we need to just recognize that if one of us makes it, then there's a chance that more of us are going to make it.
Exactly. That's what I always thought, though. I always thought that. I was like, yo, I've got my own style. When I look at my CD collection, you know what I mean, my tapes, my vinyl, whatever, it's not just one artist. It's a whole bunch of different artists. So why am I thinking that me performing with you or featuring on this with you or, you know, going on tour with you is going to make me lose any fans? If anything, that's the only way I was thinking about it. But as you carry on, you start realizing that, oh, people think they're going to kind of lose out if they're on, you know, on the same track. And I was like, man, or even place you certain part of the tunes.
It don't make sense to me. All I'm saying is, look, bro, there's so many artists in the country now that there's not enough fans. Maybe some of the artists need to be fans again. I mean,
well, say that again.
I'm saying there are so many artists out there that I feel that there's not enough fans, and basically everybody wants to be the artist, everybody wants to make it, and I just feel like some of the artists all of the artists need to go back to also being fans. Don't forget where you came from. You started off as fans.
They need to get back into Tesco's where they belong. Some of them are.
Well, you just need to go back to being fans. But at the same time, something Scheme said in an interview that I've done with him, where he said, "Stop supporting your whack friends." Like, the reality is, if you've tried it, and you're not good enough, maybe you should just go into designing or, you know, doing something behind the scenes, like editing videos or something. You know, but just leave the artistic side of things to the ones who are really like dedicated to it and give it everything, and they're dope.
Yeah, everyone has to play to their strength. That's what it is, really.
Exactly.
And like, if your strength isn't as a rapper, and, you know, try other things as well, but take part in the community. Just take part in the whole thing. Don't just feel like you have to be tied down to one part of it, the one obvious part, which is the rappers. You might make good beats, you might bloody make good stickers. There's loads of things you might be able to do.
Yeah.
Right, you see what, Dan, you see what you said there? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The building of an infrastructure. We don't have an infrastructure right now.
That's right.
You ain't lying.
That's what I was saying about
everybody for self.
That's what I was saying about in the early 2000s. Is the infrastructure was being built. There was clubs, record shops, clothes shops, labels, CDs, everything, and it just got sort of blown apart. But also the internet. I don't think the internet's helped, because it's given a platform to loads of people who aren't necessarily who shouldn't be on there, for a start.
Platform for those with the whack form.
But also it's sort of like fractured everything, and it also made music available to people for nothing. So whereas there was like people buying vinyl before, all of a sudden everybody was just ripping the vinyl and then uploading it somewhere, and then everyone was just downloading it. Yeah, so it's sort of streaming just killed it. Kills it. But any burgeoning scene is destroyed by that sort of thing, you know?
Yeah. But you know what? It's not. I don't think it's the end. I think if people get together, whether they're buying people's artist T-shirts or whether they're turning up at shows and whatever, like none of the UK artists look, if you give the people in the UK the choice of being able to pay their bills, buying, taking their families on the occasional holiday, buying food, making sure that they keep a roof over their head and all that kind of stuff, right? And the other option is that we don't support you, but you stay broke for the rest of your life. But then the third option is the millionaire thing. Now, we know that it's going to be hard to get artists in this country to be millionaires off the back of what we do with the small scene that we have. So what I'm saying is at least leave the other two choices open. And you might not be able to get them to the point of the Jay-Z's and all that, but at least get them to the point where they can feed their family.
Comfortability. You don't say comfortability. That's what I'm talking about, man.
And they deserve that.
Yeah.
And that's why like I said, that's one of the reasons I did the CD business the way I did it. I could have been greedy and gone and charged 89, 90 pence and still beat the competition with it. But I didn't. I kept it down to 50 pence. You know what I mean? Because I just saw that artists were struggling.
Yeah, and if you've got a talent other than as a rapper or whatever, or a beat maker or something, the scene is so sort of burgeoning, as in like there's still a lot of growth to be done, that if you've got something you can offer somebody, don't be afraid to approach somebody and offer t-shirts, or offer, you could put together designs for somebody or something. Because although everybody's working on their own and it is like a sort of DIY type thing, nobody wants to be doing that. They're doing it because it's necessity.
Yeah, but bro, you know what? One of the other problems that I see, and I have to address this as well. It's like when we were doing music videos and stuff, we were looking for models, and we thought we can't afford to go to a modeling agency because they're charging like £150 a day. For each model, and only 6 of them. Right? So we thought, let's go onto Facebook and find models. So we found Facebook models, and these Facebook models, like, first of all, they put so much makeup on and stuff that when you see them, they're not the same person. I don't know who they are, but they look more like RuPaul than them, right? Right? So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, like, these Facebook models that don't have any experience in modeling want to charge £300, £400, £500 for the day. And what I'm saying is there's so many people out there that don't understand the business, that overprice, and then there are people who are willing to pay those prices because they see some fake picture of a model that looks good, but when they turn up, they look like an elephant's ass. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying it as it is. I've been there, I've done it, and I'm like, what am I paying for? That's not the person I hired. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, just understand how business works and stop overcharging just because I know one girl who, I introduced. And I've got to say this story. I'm not going to mention any names. I was just about to mention the name. Anyway.
Lay it out. If it needs to come out, let that spirit flow, man.
No, but look, I introduced somebody to somebody to get a website done. So the person said, how much is the website going to cost? And they said it's going to cost £800. So they were happy to pay that. And this person started the website. Then the person called me back 2 weeks, 3 weeks later and said, why is this person charging me $2,400? And I said, well, I don't know. Oh, wow. Have you changed anything? Because nope, I haven't changed anything. So then I asked this person, why have you charged this person $2,400? You know what they told me? Because I need to go to New York and I don't have the money.
What? Later, for real.
Right? So basically, I'm like, so why has it now suddenly become this guy's responsibility to pay for your ticket to New York? You've agreed a price. Stick to the price. Don't make me look bad.
That's deep, man. That's how messed up people are. You're tripling the... What? Come on, man.
But this is what I'm saying. This is how fucked up it is out there. The people are like, bro, like, you know what? This is what I'm trying to say. If we build an infrastructure... And if we do this thing like I'm trying to achieve with 521, and everyone knows that there's someone they can go to and they're not going to get robbed, little by little, the trust is going to get built. We know there's people we can recommend. We know there's people that will do things. We know there's someone that will do your artwork, someone that will shoot your video, someone that will master your... You know what I'm saying? So it's that infrastructure. If we build that infrastructure, then a lot can happen. I've seen this all my life.
How can people get in touch with you so that, like, in terms of... Yeah, clap for that, man. For real. You're bruv, like, the knowledge you're dropping right now, factuality, Like it's next level, man. I think a lot of people need to hear this for them to understand. I think what it is you're putting it into words. It's really, there's something there. We always talk about it in the scene. There's people that, we talk about new artists. When me and Sarah had the Fubar show, we bring on artists to do the open mic and whatnot. And it was amazing the amount of fresh talent that was out there, but people weren't hearing about them. Do you know what I mean? And now some of them have gone on to do really good things, but it feels like this could happen a lot more, and the scene could be a lot stronger. So it doesn't feel like you're saying, that people that you would expect to be way surpassing, you know what I mean, any sort of level that they're at now are not there, and it doesn't make sense, considering the talent level. So I think it's important for people to hear this, and that's what it's about. It's like structure. Us communicating is structure. There's people out there that make videos, people out there that do artwork, that do animation, so many different things, different levels of art that we can all put together. And then also the business side. There are people out there that understand how to run a company, and all the sort of projections and all these different things that us as artists don't really, our heads are not in that space. And I think if people get in contact with you, whatever skills they do have, and we really start structuring something, I've got to say rest in peace to Ty, because he was always talking about this as well. There's many years that we've been, had little link-ups and whatnot and talked about things that need to happen for the scene. But I think it's really important now, especially for the future, that we just take the reins, man, really take the reins and start showing how, this is how it should be done. The classic phrase.
Time to put your big boy pants on.
Yeah, big boy pants on, man. It's important. Like, you really got me thinking now, man.
But you know what, bro? It really needs to start with the artists themselves, showing that they are supporting each other. I don't think the fans can do this. It needs to be the artists. You know what? There's so many artists out there that I've reached out to, and I'm amazed that they know me. Either they don't follow me, they don't respond. Even with me just saying, "What's up? How you doing? How's the family?" No response. And I'm like, wow, okay, all right, it's all good, because I'm still carrying on with my life. I don't necessarily need you in my life. I'm just reaching out to say what's up.
Like who? No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
I can give you names if you want names. Do you know what I mean? But
not now. We'll arrange that another night, and we'll do a pay-per-view for that.
You'll have to get them samurai swords out.
You can get your swords ready, yeah.
Bro, look, even when I started the channel and I reached out to certain people and said, can I get you in for a sofa chat? Certain people were saying, blow the channel up, then come to me. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to blow the channel up if you ain't coming in to help me?
It's deep, man. People are funny like that.
What are they expecting as well? Are they expecting, when you say blow it up, are they expecting like 100,000 YouTube subscribers before they come on, isn't it?
Yeah. But I'm like, how am I supposed to get there?
Exactly. Well, without
you don't want to come on, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's cool, because I'll find a way. You know what I mean?
That's it. And they won't be part of it. So
exactly. Which is why I said earlier about the 7 years.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I said the 7 years, bro.
Someone in the chat, the chat is saying, what are the other parts of the infrastructure that are lacking the most? I think in any sort of scene or movement or community, you've got to look out for where you can fill a void, because it doesn't need that you don't need to sort of find a little place to fit in. You need to find whatever it is you do best and provide that for people.
Yeah, it's less pressure.
And the thing is, don't be scared to make yourself known that you are a graphic designer.
That's right. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's enough for everybody.
That's right.
There's
more than
enough for everybody. Yeah. More than enough. And what we need to do is we need to really start flushing out the jokers that are wasting everybody's time.
You get them swords ready, Blade. We'll come and flush out the jokers.
He's not lying about that, man.
Should I show the swords? Let people know I'm not playing.
No, I just meant blades, as in, your name's Blade, and.
Okay. All right.
He has got them things, though. He's got them dang-dangs. You know what I mean? If you don't need to see that, he's got them dang-dangs. I don't know if we should do that live on air, though, just in case. You know what I mean?
Nah.
But yeah, I mean, look at say Lab 79. I mean, they came in and they did a performance.
Lab 79.
And bro, they were sick. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't heard Rain for so many years, and I was in love all over again. I'm like, bro, Rain and Skirmish and MC Killer. Bro, Do you know what I mean? Conflicts, all of them, every one of them smashed it.
Yeah.
And I was a bit disappointed the Manish didn't make it down because I'm a big fan of Manish too. Where, but where was he? It's like, come on.
He's on the beats though, man. He's holding down the beats. So things like that as well. I really like him just deciding like, yo, I'm gonna start putting out this shit. I don't give a damn. And then it's turning into something. I could feel that it's kind of rejuvenating that energy, you know, like you said, Rain coming back, and then everyone is just, they've got bars, man. There's no, you know, denying each one of them can spit. And on top of that, Manage is making, so he's kind of perfected, like he understands what type of sound needs to be made for these type of guys, you know what I mean? And they're bringing it. So yeah, I can only see that building, man. So it's things like that is, you know, made me feel like you're not wrong at all.
Rainer's got that possibility to cross over as well.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
He's raw, but he's one of those guys. Everything he says connects with people as well.
Yeah.
I mean, whereas somebody like Skirmish is like raw. You know what I mean? But you know, it's like, but at the same time, it's like if he gets to the right audience and everything, he can make a very, very decent career out of this. Yeah. All of them can. All of them.
So, all right, then let's talk about, in terms of, we know that the talent's there, right? I guess there's the side of it. Let's be honest, man. People are shy. Like UK hip hop, the rappers, you know what I mean? Some people are a bit shy. Am I lying?
No, yeah.
You know,
the gentle soul's underneath.
Yeah, it's like there's character there with a lot of people on the mic and whatnot, but then when it comes to like the other side of it, of, you know, coming off the mic and just being in interviews and whatnot, people are, you know, a bit, and I feel like, bruv, just let go, man. Just be you. Like, don't take yourself too serious in a way.
Can I be honest, right? I remember, and I'm not going to mention this artist's name because I love the guy. Yeah, and I think he's a sick artist.
Yeah, I'm saying it out of love as well, man. Like, this is just something I've noticed throughout the scene. I think it's the reason why I've managed to get where I am is because I can, you know, I don't give a fuck.
So basically, I love this guy anyway, right? So I saw him in the audience, and I went up and said, "What's up?" And he blanked me. Yeah,
I've had that.
And then, but this was at my show.
Oof.
Yeah, and he basically came there to analyze me, see what I was doing and whatever. Then after the show, he came up and said, "Yo, that was sick," blah blah blah. You know what I mean? But then I asked him why he did that. And he's like, bro, you're competition to me. I can't put my guard down.
Ooh.
I'm like, bro, I am never going to be competition to you because I'm doing what I'm doing. You're doing what you're doing. And I don't see you as a threat. And you need to stop seeing me as a threat.
Oof.
Yeah, all we need to do is just show everybody, like, you know, when people are walking past, they want to see me and you hugging and like people going, rah, them two are friends. Cool. I'm fans of both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Rather than, them two don't like each other. I'm going to pick which one I go with.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I just feel like people sometimes, maybe they're in a certain type of mood, innit? And they just don't feel like they want to chat to everyone. You know, I kind of give them the...
Yeah, but what I'm saying, though, when it's their turn to get up on stage, they want everyone to be on their side. So I'm like, look, how can you expect me to treat you that way when you ain't treating me that way? You've already set the boundaries. You know what I mean? So if you're going to be cold towards me, how do you expect me to even stick around for your show? I'm going home. I got better things to do.
Yeah, that's how it is. But yeah, you're right. We can change that, man. I think things are coming together as well. I'm chatting to a lot more people than I used to. So personally, I feel like, yeah, there's a bond kind of happening. But it does seem to be more, obviously, when we have to link up, and I think it can happen outside of that as well. Like we're saying, even if we set up a group as well, have people as well from the scene that are, you know, all in the same sort of on the same wavelength, as well as people that can help out, you know, with the infrastructure, that kind of thing, so that they're involved as well.
Bro, do you remember a couple of years ago, someone started a group chat? And they were saying about somebody leading the group chat. Do you remember what I said?
Yes, I do. It's stuck. It's stuck. It was like,
I basically said there's only two people in this room that I would say need to be headed. If we're going to do anything, then there's two people that need to be heading this. And one of them was you.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
you know, we need, like, basically it has to be someone who's responsible like you. You know what I mean? You and John ZD is the people that I put forward, personally.
Yeah,
I mean, but at the
I
same
don't think
time, you're busy, he's busy.
Yeah, but not even just that, man. You'll be surprised, bro. People always say, like, oh, I'm surprised someone wouldn't. But there's certain people that they don't even, like, we don't follow each other. They don't, you know, like, we don't, if we see each other, it's just like, yeah, not really. And I don't know why, but that's just how it is. So I don't think I could, I'm being honest here. I don't think I could get in contact with each and every artist out there and pull it together. I'd have to be part of the, you know, the people that I could do, I would, and obviously I don't think there'll be much of a problem.
But you know, the mad thing is, like, can I say something else? I have to say this, right? There's so many artists in America that don't get along in personal lives. Like, they come together for business.
Big country.
I'm even about that. I don't mind doing that. Like, honestly, I don't. I'm working on it at the moment. But
what I'm saying is. But you see, what I'm saying is they came together for business. They all got rich off the back of it, and now they get together every summer and they go to each other's houses.
Now they're friends, yeah. Now they're friends. It's deep, man. But the journey, people forget about the journey, bruv. That's what I feel like. They forget that the journey is a big part of what your life is, and if you don't enjoy it, if all it is just like doom and gloom till you get to the end, you're messing it up, man. There's so many opportunities.
But the thing is, other people have already done this, so it's not like we can't just look at what someone else did and then just do what they did. Like I said, the Americans, like, loads of them, they used to hate each other, and now they're best friends, and their kids are going to the same schools and living on the top of the hill and
sleeping top and tail and shit.
Swimming pools. It's like, you know, some of them have probably even built swimming pools with underground tunnels that lead them from their swimming pool to their neighbor's swimming pool. Do you know what I mean?
It's nuts, bro.
Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island. Yeah, man. So people get in touch with Blade, hit him up. You see his Insta there. Follow him. Get your messages in. Spread the word as well, man, because this is what we're really about right about now. The talent is there. Do you know what I mean? The opportunities are there, but we've really got to take it by the horns now and forget trying to jump on all these other networks and, you know, just build it ourselves, man. Because there are people out there that want it, but they just need a hub where they can find it. And there's so many great people out here that, like Blade is saying, deserves way more. That it's only right, man. You know, and I don't think it's ever too late either. I think there's a
no way. No. So much work you put in. That's all it is. It's just if you're. I think, like I say, people were caught off guard earlier on with the internet and all this stuff and streaming and all these things. Now it's all at your fingertips. You can do it all, but it's just a matter of weeding out all of the weakest points and building on the strong ones.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, as I said, and the thing is, like, for example, I may have been an artist before, then I did the CD business. What's to say that journey didn't lead me here to do this because something needed to be done?
That's right. What's
to say that I never should have been an artist?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I should have just been in the business trying to do what I had a passion for, which is all of this. I mean, because ultimately I got a big heart, and I just want to do what's best for everybody. I want to create a scene where, and you know what? Someone said to me yesterday. They said, "You know, Blade's just doing this to make money. You know that, right? He don't care about the scene." So I said to them, when you speak to your friend, tell them I said, they're right. I am doing this to make money, but I'm not going to be happy till everybody's making money. And one thing I said to Chester B is, bro, after the interview finished, and I've got it in a text message. So, like, you know, I've got it here. I might even make it public at some point, which I don't think I will, because it's a private conversation between me and him. But the one thing that I can make public is I said, bro, it's like, I see what you're doing. I've always seen what you're doing. And somebody like Life MC has always been there for me, morally supporting me when he knows there's been a lot of people talking me and talking shit about me, saying whatever. So I said, I'm going to make you a promise today. And this was 2 days ago. I'm going to make you a promise today. I am going to carry on doing what I'm doing until yours and Life MC's life changes. When I'm done with that, I'm going to carry on till I make sure other lives change as well. I'm not stopping. I'm going to carry on till loads of lives change.
That's deep, man. Fucking hell, Blade. Jeez. That's deep, man. That is deep. Bruv, I think we should leave it on that note, man, because that one's going to hit home for a lot of people. And yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time as well, man. But, woo, bruv.
And do you just want to just plug this Chester P thing again?
Yeah, let's do that, man. So it's the GoFundMe for Chester P. You know what I mean? Hit up the link.
That's GoFundMe.com/F/Chester P fundraiser.
Or you can send them to my page, and it's in the bio.
Okay. Cool.
Links in the bio.
All right, and we'll stick the link in our show as well.
So my page is Blade691_UK on Instagram, and the link is in the bio.
Blade 6. Yeah, we got that up on your thing. Okay, cool. All right, excellent.
Yeah, man. Wicked, man. So
for anyone who's asking what the 691 is, no, the 69 is not a sexual position. It was 691 was the phone code for New Cross when I used to live there.
Gotcha.
Okay, 691.
The NK.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense now. Because I was wondering. I was like, right, is he like linked with Tekashi in any way? Treyway? You know what I'm saying? Treyway Blade. Yeah, bruv. Oi, it's been really good talking to you, man.
And you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate everything you've done, everything you're doing. It's fucking inspiring, bruv. Really
thank you,
giving me like a warm, you know what I mean? This energy where I feel like, yeah, you know what? It's that energy where it's like when you started, you're like, I want to write these bars and I want to like go in. I want people to be like, yo, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, do you know what I mean? You've given me that kind of spirit. And I think a lot of us need that right now. And it feels like there's, like you said, it's never too late. There's a lot more ahead that can be done. Like I'm working on a bunch of stuff, and I know loads of artists left, right, and centre that are as well. We're all like working on a lot. Like I said, featuring more with each other, and I think people are realizing like, yeah, we do need to come out of our shells and be a bit more of who we are. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry about what people are thinking, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You are you, and that's all that matters. It's your world. Wherever you go, do you know what I mean? For each and every one of us. And we shouldn't be afraid of each other. We shouldn't be afraid to be who we are. And it's all about love anyway, because we love what we're doing. The reason why we're here under this same roof is because we love this culture, this music. So why then are we going to turn it into anything else but that? And it's got to grow. All it can do is grow, especially for the young ones, man. Like, I don't want the young ones listening to all this madness that's going on right now and thinking that's what they got to be and that's what they got to become.
But this is what I was trying to say with the whole channel thing. So what I'm trying to do, and what like all of us have always been trying to do, is just bring forward positive music so that they can see there is another option. Because right now they're not being fed or even being informed about another option. Everything that's being drummed into their heads is there for a reason, and that reason is all negative.
Yep.
Negative energy, creating more. It's just creating more and more.
Yeah.
And
but while we're here though, bro, I just want to put you on the spot and say, bro, you got to come in and do a live, like a freestyle or something, and you got to come in for a sofa chat.
Nah, definitely, man. I should come down with Locke and we do a little set, innit?
Okay, and look, you've all heard him say that he's gonna do it now, so he has to do it.
Bro, trust me, I'll do it.
No excuses.
Yeah, man. Nah, I'm gonna do it. Trust me, because I've been getting back into performing.
Watch how he starts ignoring my phone calls now, and there's no communication anymore.
Nah,
we'll definitely have you back on the sofa next time for the next interview. Yeah, so you can come down to the studio and all that rather than
wicked.
Being remote.
Yeah, I look forward to it, man. I love what you're doing as well. So
appreciate it, bro.
Thanks,
if all of us keep pushing each other like this, anything is possible, bro.
That's it, man. That's it. That's all that matters, man. People got to forget all the other bullshit that they're getting caught up in. This is what it's really
But when
about.
I come in, you're going to have to get rid of them sharks, bro. I'm scared of them.
Don't worry, man. They don't bite, bruv. You know what I mean? They're cool. You see the stingray there just chilling. Nah, man, they're all good. They're all good. The sharks, they get a little bit rowdy.
He's killing them for you now. He heard what you said. He's going to go shoot
shark fish. You know what I mean? You want some shark fin soup? What you saying? I'm going to hook that up for you, bruv, when you come around next. Got you that shark fin soup. Yo, Blade, one love, man. Appreciate you being with us, man. We've definitely got to do it again. And yes, I'm going to come down there. Trust, man. Make sure it's fireproof. You got some fireproof shit going on in there, in that studio, because we might.
Well, thanks for the advance warning. I'll make sure the fire station knows to be on standby.
Yeah, boy. Bless, brother. Always a good chat, man. Really appreciate you, kid.
Yeah, you too, as always, bro.
Bless, man.
All right,
yes.
wicked.
That was Blade, ladies and gentlemen. Jeez, legendary, dropping knowledge upon knowledge upon knowledge. Way better than your college. Yo, it's like, you know, hearing the things that, it's always like every time I talk to him, there's certain gems. And like I'm saying, you think about it and you're feeling, but you can't put it into words. And he manages to put it into words where you're like, yeah, that's exactly it. You know, there's a way around getting there, and somehow you get there. And obviously, that's his penmanship as well. He's always straight to the point. Blade, you know what I mean? Makes sense. So it's always appreciated chatting to a brother like that, a big bro, someone I can call a big bro, man. People don't understand that shit. I'm telling you. Yo, shout out to the people in the chat room. Let's see who's still up in this building. Sorry about the slight technical hitch. You know what I mean? We came back. But then, yeah, we still, you know, couldn't get the old screen up properly.
We had the camera for a bit.
I think the camera, is it?
We had it for a little bit, but then it just fell over on us. So
yeah,
still got a bit of work to do.
Yeah, man, we're still working on it. We appreciate
I'll be here all night trying to sort it out, basically. So
yeah, man.
I won't be. I'm not going to be allowed out.
Yeah. So who we got? We got to give a shout out to everyone still here. Man like Bluefoot, he says forage for the knowledge. You're more, yep, dropping them fruits. Serious props to Blade from Yamore. Big up Blade, Mice Diggy from Blau Smith. What does that say? Never fear the, scroll down a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
That's all good. Yeah, I lost it on there. Was it? Never fear the sharks. Ooh, no shark fin soup. Wow. You're damn right. You can't fear the sharks, man. Yeah, man. Big up to everyone that's still in the building. I think we're going to do the Mice Investigates next week because it's a pretty deep one. And there's some bits and bobs that I wanted to go over as well that I think would be interesting for people. We've done a couple hours. I think more than a couple hours now. We appreciate all you mother lovers locked in. Each and every one of you. Each and every time. Make sure you lot rest up. You know what I mean? If you got that last one to blaze, do your thing. I'm going to get indulgent as well. Dan DNA, appreciate everything you do, my bro. Joe in the building, appreciate you. All you mother lovers out there. My name is Mice Diggy. This is some shit you might not never know nothing about. And we're out, bitches.